Can I put my hand down now?
Hello.
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 Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome back. I haven't rewritten a different audio because Hannah's here. Hello. Anyway, we are D&D Boyband, a group of friends that all like to be D&D pretty boys. Apparently, it's fantasy, and it's not fantasy, and it's everybody's heart, including the NPCs. This is an original D&D campaign set in the critical role world of Exandria, taking place about 10 years after the events of CR1. The group we've been playing for about 2.5 years now. The group have got to level 15. They've saved a mind flayer colony from a plague while it's never really going back. Gone across the shore of Rosona, turned one of their party members into the avatar of Kyphon, weakened the Divine Gate, and are now trying to rig an election in favor of one of their party members. They've done some good things as well, I'm sure. However,
what you're trying to say is we left the EU and now somebody's just 2 ministers have resigned from the cabinet. What you're trying to say?
You know, like it actually just hit me that the nicest thing we've done is save a bunch of mind flayers.
And like in the long run, is that nice for anyone?
No. Bruh.
I'm sure we did one other nice thing. We killed some cultists. That's nice, right?
We destroyed the Wand of Orcus. That's really nice.
Yeah.
It's not like you tried to rob an NPC who'd been helping you all that. No, you tried that.
Are you an NPC?
Technically, I don't know.
A guest character. Anyway.
Guest
Hello,
character
hello.
NPC.
You will probably get quite a lot of politics references tonight out of somebody.
Let's hear the news. Let's hear the news.
I'm Dungeon Master Jamie, and joining me tonight are the Spice Boys, or the Nice Boys as they seem to call themselves to everyone now, and it just will not stop, despite everyone not believing that to be anyone's name. At least it wasn't, what was the group we were dealing? The Milk Team, or what did you call? No, the Warriors of Milk.
You are the Warriors of Milk.
Anyway, first of all, let me introduce Clue as Barnes,
Hello.
Eski as Zug, Sai as Aku, Luke as Ascor, Erin as Hayden,
Hello.
and Hannah/Blady Cakes returning as Casadius.
Hi.
Before we begin, we may have some announcements. First of all, welcome Hannah. An official
Hi.
welcome, who will be joining us for an undetermined amount of sessions. But welcome
Thank
back.
you. It's good to be back.
Welcome. Good to have you.
Hell yeah.
Exciting.
And Erin, is there anything?
The only announcement is our stream schedule might be changing soon. So for all the latest updates, make sure you join our Discord channel, which I think all of you guys who are watching right now are already in our Discord channel. So, but on the off chance that someone is watching this who isn't in our Discord, please feel free to join our Discord. It's full of friendly people and stuff and memes. So yeah, please join. And we will announce any stream date changes in there, so you don't miss a single session.
Nice. On top of that as well, Erin is going to be away next week, although playing, but in a different country. So I will be running the stream, which Erin does a wonderful job. I will do a less wonderful job. So please bear with us for any technical issues that do spring from this.
And I'm just straight up not here next week, so bye.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna come back sunburned.
Miss you.
Yes. Okay, I think that's everything. As a brief reminder to everybody, roughly what happened last session. You guys finished up in Barnes's Asmodeus-themed magnificent mansion, and along with some roleplay, getting to know each other a little bit better, you resolved what to do with Hannah Wasserman's soul and went to the council to see Percy, a member who has seemingly given you an amount of trust before, and who you reported back that you destroyed the Wand of Orcus. Roughly what had happened to Hannah, although withholding some information about what you exactly knew. He revealed to you that the Redwater Jewel and Sylphrena have subsequently fled. Seemingly your uncovering of that did not go unnoticed, and upon being unable to locate you because you were in a demi-plane, she seemingly has fled, or at least has for now. On top of that, Percy, in slightly uncertain terms, said that if you were to go after the clasp, he would be willing to turn, or the city's law enforcement would be willing to turn a blind eye, especially as it was something he has attempted to do but is unable due to his new responsibilities. You were just leaving that meeting with kind of the sense that he was going to take care of some of the Hannah thing, that the election was probably going to be, if not called off, then delayed for a while, buying yourself time to decide what you would like to do with Mr. Galvadane as well as Ascor's siblings, and some level of ability to begin uncovering and deciding exactly what you wanted to do with the clasp. I am not using my fancy mic. Apologies. I will fix that right now. So I will quickly say, before we have a little glimpse of what Casadius has been up to, Boyband, after walking out of the palace, where will you be heading, and what is your quick conclusion amongst yourselves before you head off after your meeting with Percy? If you all want to remind yourself exactly what was said and deciding. I think your plan, you didn't really have a definite plan beyond essentially just being told we can now do this.
Wasn't he going to give us info? Like, we were waiting for contact from his assistant, who was accidentally going to lose some files in our general direction? Something like that?
What were you legitimately asking information on? I can't remember.
Well,
is
we
not helpful.
wanted just stuff about the class, where they hang
Oh
out.
no, you wanted stuff about the plague. So you're offered to
That's
help
right.
about the plague as well, and in that he may occasionally drop information that they have on the clasp that you really shouldn't be being given.
In
Yeah.
addition to that, like what when the next cabinet reshuffle might be.
It might not be the only election soon.
Remember to vote, kids.
But I don't think we had a plan, did we? We didn't have a direct. It was sort of a we'll wait for further info sort of deal.
You're making it sound like us having a plan is a normal thing.
It's not, I know.
We definitely did. What time of day is it?
You came here like first thing in the morning, so it's 10, probably after you were made to wait a little bit before seeing Percy.
Okay.
So what are we doing? Has he left and we're just milling about?
Yeah, no, you've been released. The guard has walked you out and taken you outside. You know that you
This
have
is-
access.
Taking us out back.
Taken you out back.
We have both a license to stand in a room and chat shit for ages, for once, and secondly, the DM has a license to interrupt us, so that's perfect.
So, with no real solid plan, are you guys going to one of your various safe houses you have across here, be it Lorian's house or back to the brothel?
Did we share last, gang, with the minister?
What did we share with Percy?
In terms of where we're located.
We didn't tell him anything about where we are.
You didn't tell him where you are based.
And we do have the mansion for 24 hours, so I can just
Just a quick reminder, DM. What was the prerequisite that Zug had to do to get off the hook? Was it send a letter? I can't.
Yes, you needed to send a letter explaining and deliver it to Sergeant Vimes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, let's just send Hayden. Like you write it, send Hayden. Delivery guy's got it covered. Jamie. It's gonna make him sign for it. Take a picture of him holding.
So I guess Zug would be a little bit antsy.
Does Asgore still think I'm a postman?
Yeah. So Zug would be a bit antsy, being like, "Does anyone have any paper? Anyone have any paper, a pen, anything?"
Yeah, I do.
I have to write the letter.
Oh, okay. Hayden will like
now
rummage in his bag, pull some paper out.
Well, as soon as I can.
Should we do it over lunch or something?
And what if they hang me before lunch? Then I will not be having any lunch.
They won't hang you before lunch.
Got a good point.
I do.
Zug, he hands you the paper and he kind of looks at you. And
yeah.
In my memory, have I ever seen Zug write or read before?
He can write and he can read.
have I witnessed Zug reading before?
This is orc stereotyping.
this is racism.
But he lost his intelligence recently because of the hag.
Yeah, he lost intelligence point, but that doesn't make him illiterate.
I didn't know.
Wait, how many intelligence do you have?
I'm on 8 actually.
No. So I think is it 6?
Six is when you're borderline.
6 is the 6 is borderline illiterate.
Okay, so he's one above illiterate. Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's got dumber, but he's not that dumb.
Okay.
And he did grow up on Emon, and was taught basic writing. Now he does write like a child, as in like the handwriting is terrible, but like overall, other than that, it is literate enough, and he does also write how he speaks, so it's not particularly a formal letter if he was to write one out.
Do you want one of us to help you with writing this, and then maybe you can just sign your name at the bottom? Like, we could help you figure out some nice things to say, so they decide to let you go, right?
He kind of pauses and think. Do you think that'd be a good idea?
It could be like a group effort.
Okay.
I think the word should come from your heart, but we could probably help you rephrase it a little bit.
But
Barnes
and...
More like polishing rather than fabrication.
Exactly that. Yes. Great idea. I don't write many letters, but I'm sure the general gist of it is. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I should say. Should I apologize?
Well, Ascor has a good history in legality and what you should and shouldn't say, so he can
I'm explaining a large leave of absence that was never technically planned for.
Look, you've got the government on your side. You can essentially write whatever as long as you don't own up to a few things. It'll be easy.
Fantastic. Yes, that. I still don't know what I should be writing about. It's okay. I know. Let's go wherever we're gonna go. I'll write it as soon as I get there.
Look, all you gotta say is you're in a secret mission. It started back then. You've told the what position is it that Percy holds again?
Oh god. Let me check my notes. I have it written down. Percy.
He's the Grand Poobah, clearly.
Grand Poobah.
Poobah.
The king of Amon.
Percy doesn't actually have an official position on the council. However, his wife, Exandria, is the Master of War. However, the member of Vox Machina, he is an honorary member of the council.
That's so nepotistic. Perfect.
Like nepotism.
Yeah.
Love it.
Call him a nepotism hire. See how that works.
Yeah. Well, you've got the council on your side. All you need to do is say it's a top secret mission to which he's privy, and yeah, you're easy.
How should I explain that I got recruited into the mission?
You don't need to.
I don't.
No, Percival DeRolo sent you on a secret mission. He can vouch for you. You're very sorry for any inconvenience caused, and it really hurts you to know that certain members of your band or whatever were injured on the mission you had to abandon, but a mission's a mission.
Yes, I guess so. Yes. This bureaucracy stuff is scary.
I'd say they're just words, but I think words are probably the most dangerous thing of all, no?
Well, I'd say swords or magic are probably a little more...
Well, I'd say taxes first, actually, Zach.
I don't know what a tax is, but it sounds pretty dangerous.
They're not dangerous.
It's kind of like an axe, but cuts
They're
further.
just annoying.
An axe with a T.
That's
Terrible.
right.
Well, I have a minor errand to run. I want to find somebody capable of identifying something I was left in my room, but I could meet you back at wherever.
Sure.
Brothel, where are you going?
I don't know if we should go back there. Should we go back there? I don't know.
My mansion's still up if you want to hang out with the imps a little bit more.
It was a very nice place, and there's very good food, so my vote's for the mansion.
Well, if we're not going back to the brothel, should we, kind of close our tab with the woman there? Because...
Wait. Hold on,
you guys all,
charged to stay there?
Well, there's that.
Free.
Well, I mean, you guys all made... I did as well, but we all made trades to stay there, and... Well...
Oh, I offered her a little bit of my luck. It doesn't mean anything.
Oh, I have to sing a song in a public place. Maybe I should go do that. You don't think she'll take control of my body, do you?
Wait, do you think that'll happen if we don't pay? We should go back. We should immediately go back.
I wouldn't really want any of you guys getting, mind controls, like how Haki did, if we don't, pay up. I don't really know what deals you guys all made yourselves, but...
Look, Zug goes, well, look, I haven't been mind controlled since I got. And he holds up his left hand, and then he realizes he's not wearing the ring anymore, and he kind of like stares at it for a few seconds, and his eyes wide. We need to go back. We need to go back immediately.
But did you leave your ring there or something?
No, it's in my pocket. I can't wear it because it's broken. But now anybody could mind control me. This is terrible. We need to go back immediately.
Right, yeah. Okay, yeah, should we go?
Okay. As you make your way, most of you, to the open purse.
I guess I'll go with them and find an identifier later if we're doing it as a group.
Okay.
So it's kind of like awkwardly speed running, like speed walking. Sorry.
Just to clarify,
looking around.
last you gave me a bit of information saying that due to me being privy to special information, I believe the hag was either an Anis hag or a green.
Yes, the green hag.
Thank you.
Disguising herself as a beautiful owner of a fairly upmarket brothel in the central district of Iman.
She was beautiful. You didn't tell me that.
Dude, Aku slept with her. Of course she's banging.
It's like a Melisandre deal, you know?
Okay.
Jamie, you literally open our campaign with everyone is hot, including the NPCs. It's canon. She's hot.
Until she's not. She's horrifying.
Right, we will switch to Hannah. So
I don't know why you think it'll be better to swap.
I don't know.
Hannah's a degenerate just like the rest of us.
So, Casadius, as you all remember, as a quick refresher, you met Casadius in the middle of the Barb Fields as he was traveling on his way to Rosona, carrying an item of great value that he intended to sell. He aided you in getting back to Rosona and then recovering Nadan and stealing an item from House Bylan. He then took you to his home after selling the items, where you met his dwarf parents. You stayed the night, and then you attempted to rob him in the morning, at which point Casadius left quite quickly. During that time, Casadius imparted some fairly sage advice to Hayden regarding the relationship with the clasp that has spiraled quite a bit into where we are now. He was also the one to warn you of the murder husbands coming to find you. A message that was slightly misconstrued, however, had the effect of at least saving your lives. Wherever the murder husbands are now, they are probably getting as far away from you lot as possible after their experience. So, as you remember, Casadius was attempting to make his way to Craghammer. Owing to the werewolf plague across much of Iman, after much of tal'dorei, after arriving in Iman, Casadius has not been able to make that journey. Obviously, this is meta knowledge, but just informing you where we are. And he's actually been holding up in an abandoned house on the docks, quite near the Redwater Jewel, which means one of the audience members to Zug and Devil's Fight was Casadius, who has stepped out this morning to get a sending scroll to perhaps message some of his old friends who he realizes are in town. Upon returning to the well-furnished and well cared for now house that, as discussed, probably you've realized belongs to one of the Grey Spines, particularly Horatio Greyspine, who, after again looking through, has clearly used this in better times for staying when he came for trade, although now nobody can get to or from Craghammer. You've decided that why shouldn't you and Dana and Bertram live here for a little bit of time? So Casadius has been holed up here for probably 2 or 3 weeks, I'd say. Hannah, what do you think, other than keeping his nose to the ground, Casadius has been up to for 2 or 3 weeks in Iman, would you say, with his family?
Mostly he'll have been keeping them out of sight. Like, his mother would probably want to go and explore the city a lot. He's not such a fan of that because safety. he'll be doing little short excursions with his mother to help her get like ingredients for food she wants to cook and keep her happy. The rest of the time, he'll basically be doing perimeter checks around, just keeping an eye out, listening in taverns for any news about friends or not so friendly friends that he might want to keep an eye on. Just trying to be as inconspicuous as possible, but he's aware he is a giant, gangly red tiefling with white hair.
Yes.
So,
Imon is an eclectic mix of people, but if someone were looking for you, it wouldn't be hard to find, but you don't necessarily stand out as much of a sore thumb as you would in some other places. Of course, during your time, you've been aware of the election. I sent you some other details. And of course, keeping tabs on the nice boys, as you've heard them called recently, who saved the rally, and as you saw Zug fighting a devil outside, and also your old friends from the clasp, who most prominently you've noticed alongside Mr. Galvadane, who of course you were very curious what Askel's father looked like, and were surprised to see Kari standing next to him on occasion when you have spied him at public events. Which is why, as you're returning home, carrying the sending scroll, and you kind of you stop, because as Casadius is a very careful man, especially around those he cares about, the door to this nice house that you've commandeered is ever so slightly ajar, and you've certainly locked it.
oh crap. Can he roll a investigation check to see if there's any signs of like particular signs of disturbance? Any kind of aggressive disturbance?
What's your passive investigation again? 28, right?
My passive investigation is 28, yes.
28. Yeah, so you can roll it, but we'll see what the passive does as well.
I mean, we'll see, because I now have reliable talent, so...
That's the best.
Huh? Who's a level 11 rogue?
Should be
Maybe.
level 15 with us now.
I'm a multi-class.
It's a multi-class.
Ooh.
Yeah, then we'll go with the 28, I think, because it's 23 on the regular roll. So.
Cool. The
Watching
door. So there's no sign of forced entry. None of the windows are broken. Looking inside, you can kind of hear no sound. There are ever so slight like marks on the door that weren't there when you left, to kind of on the keyhole, which makes you think someone with a fine tool has probably been prodding around. You imagine it's been lockpicked. Looking down and kind of assessing the dust, there are 2 steps of footprints that you do not recognize. One has gone inside, the other has come with the other one and then left and has gone around to one of the side streets. With the 28, I'll say you recognize one of them as being significantly larger of foot than the other. Not much you can gain from just shoe size, but one is a smaller foot. You would estimate if they're human, female or male, but you don't know.
Okay. As much as sensibility tells him he should check the person scoping out the outside first and deal with them, his parents are in the house, and that is cause for concern. So he is gonna pull his hand crossbow off his belt where it's been hanging down and just line up against the door and just kick it open with one foot and sort of hunker against the door frame with the other, and then just like try and look inside.
Okay, as you kick open the door, there is a waft of warm cookies that hit you straight in the face.
That's normal for Casadius coming home. That's fine.
Yeah, normal coming home. It's quite good. And there is a little like start, like oh my, and you hear like a rattle and a clat as presumably a tray of something drops. And you kind of like look around, you look inside, and you can see the main like lounge with the fireplace the fireplace like flickering in the back. It is warm, it is comfy, and for a second you breathe a sigh of relief, like this is very much a scene you left before, until your eyes focus that there are 2 chairs facing towards the fire, clearly with people in them. One of however, with that perception investigation, you know that your mother is in the kitchen. So there is somebody else here. And as that person kind of looks round and turns to you, you see the angular face, red eye, green eyes, red hair, kind of down to her shoulders, cloaked figure of the person you very much recognize to be Kari. Who kind of smiles and says, "Casadius, it's been a long time. I was just studying this book with your father here." And you see your father's kind of sitting there with one of the Greyspine ledgers open, and it's just look. He seems raptured, and you see Kari kind of points to something for him.
He'll like lower the crossbow. I'm gonna make a note he doesn't put it away.
Okay.
Oh, Kari, it's been a long time. How many months is it since I last saw you?
3 or 4, I think. It's
Yeah, sounds about right.
Kaimol.
Oh, good times. Really wasn't expecting company today.
Well, you've not exactly made yourself known to us. I understand the need for secrecy, but no chance of a hi for an old friend. And she stands up, and you see your mum kind of down and busted and goes, "Oh, cookies! Oh, Casadius, you're back. Did you get what you needed?"
Yeah, I got everything I needed, Mom. That's great.
Cool. And she runs up and offers you a chocolate cookie.
Oh, thanks, Mom. He'll like go for it with the crossbow holding hand, and then pause and like go with the other hand.
Yeah. And she'll run over, and Kari will pick and take one up as well, and then she'll offer it down to Bertrand and kind of help him take one, and she'll kind of go, "Oh, this is Kari. She said she knew you. Do you have business to discuss? Can I get you anything? Is paper, pen, your maps?"
No, why don't you make us some hot drinks, Ma? Just go into the kitchen.
Marshmallows, cream, caramel.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yep.
Yeah. She kind of goes to Kari. Kari goes, I'm fine. Thank you.
It's all of the street cred. It's just...
As she turns back to you, just smiling, and she kind of stands away and steps away from the chair. And you probably visibly, her stepping away from sitting next to your father, probably there's a slight relaxing. You still don't put the crossbow away, I imagine, but
no,
it's a nice place you've pulled up here.
Yeah, well, you know me, I like to root out the best of the best.
Yes. It's nice Greyspine, I believe. They do pay well. Are you working for them?
Oh no, this is just a they're loaning me the place for a bit. We're trying to get to Craghammer and just ran into a couple of complications. We're gonna travel on from there, but
yes.
Damn
Very
werewolves.
Bad for business.
Oh, I can bet.
Yes. Hopefully, once this damn election's over, we can focus on the more important things.
I assume you came to talk to me about some of those more important things, if you're...
Just one matter, really. While you were in Rossona, you didn't by chance meet any other collaborators?
He holsters the crossbow and then will lean against the nearest, like, dresser, cupboard, anything, look at her, take a very toothy bite of that cookie, and then just, by collaborators, what do you mean exactly?
Well, Klonst and Aeonir Canarden were in the area, of course, for a while. They moved on quite swiftly. I gave them your last known address, but they said it was empty.
Oh yeah, I must have left just before they arrived. I mean, I think I heard about them when I was on the road, but I was all gone from the area by then.
Well, that I think that those timelines certainly make sense. And who was it? Hayden, yes.
He takes another bite of the cookie, just chilling against the cupboard, and sort of like looks to the side as if he's thinking while he's chewing it, and like just a couple of crumbs fall out from between his very sharky looking teeth. Just...
Yeah, she hasn't taken a bite from her cookie yet. She's kind of just holding it and kind of playing it with you with a coin.
Hayden. Oh yeah, the Dark hair, right? Weird looking
Yeah.
group of friends.
Exceptionally.
Yeah. Oh, I think I
Kind of
caught
looks
him.
at you like a puppy dog that you lost its treats.
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I think I ran into them on the road and then heard about them doing some stuff around town, but I can't say I remember them that well. We met in passing a couple of events. Funeral, I think. Or was it a party? What's the difference? It's free drinks.
I certainly agree on that.
Do I need to roll a deception check?
Yeah, you can roll a deception check.
Mom, I'm scared.
It's fine. I have reliable talent.
You got some levels in Bard, right?
Maybe. 19.
19. Not actually a good roll for you. Well, what it could be. That's okay. Yes. Well, I think you should be aware that Hayden has turned into rather a disappointment, and I'd hate to think that you shared in any part of that or any ongoing part in that.
Disappointment, that sounds kind of personal, doesn't it?
Some people can separate personal from the business, but I always struggled, especially what we will redo, don't you think? Personal has a way of bleeding over.
Cass can't help his eyes like wandering towards his dad. Oh, I can imagine, but I mean, you and me, we've both been in this game long enough. We know how it works. He did look a little green the few times I saw him around, didn't look like he had the stomach for what we do.
Certainly not. Turns out nor the heart.
You,
You're not still in contact, are you?
No, like I said, we only really met in passing a couple of times.
Just a little. He returned here as well and didn't feel the need to inform us either.
That's so. Do you know what, I mean, he has that little group of friends. Is he still with those?
I think we rather lost track of him.
Well, that's quite impressive. I mean, that was a pretty standout group of people, wouldn't you say?
They have... I think they're hiding from us, which, given everything, I can understand.
Well, I
But
mean, if he knows he's in your bad books, you're the kind of person someone would want to hide from. Hate to say it, Kari.
the utmost compliments. I think the problem has been dealt with, but I just hate to see anyone else, going down with such a green small ship.
Oh, well, you know me, I'm old hat at this, so no worries there. I'm with this ship till it hits the bottom of the ocean.
I'm glad to hear it. I'll let you know if there's anything else I need to talk to you about. It's nice to meet Bertrand and Dana.
Sure you don't want to stay for that hot drink? My mom makes a mean hot chocolate.
I'm sure she does. I have much to attend to and much to clean up after some of the messes that Hayden's made.
All right. Give my love to the guys. And if you're not going to eat that cookie, give it to your friend who's lurking around outside, will you?
Deceptive as ever.
That's why you pay me.
I'm sure we'll be seeing them again. And she walks out the door. You can't help but see her drop and stand on the cookie.
I'm going to murder her. Right now, I do a sneak attack again.
And you probably watch her for what most people would consider to be far too long walk towards the main part of the pier, but for you, is probably nothing, not nowhere near enough to know that she's not coming back.
Is this a
and-
good point to mention that we have a Let's Kill Kari club?
And I imagine after she leaves, you probably quickly rush round to check on your parents or check the
Yeah,
flat.
he will go to the door again, close it, and I'm assuming there's like barricades he can put down because he would have made sure
Yeah.
that was all there just in case. He'll pull all those down.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
just
I was like, two big steaming cups of hot chocolate. Like, oh, did she?
Cat
she
like
gone?
turns around, like rounds on her. Ma, did you? Give me those. And he'll just.
Yeah. Okay, you're
Did
like,
she say anything to you? Wait, no, wait, I can do this. Did she say anything to you?
No,
okay? You're
no.
alright?
She just said hi, and that you were old work associates, and that she was really. I told her about this place and the books, and she started reading them, and
Yeah.
is everything?
He'll take the cups off her and put them down, then he'll kneel down in front of her, being a 6'3" tiefling with a dwarven mother.
Yeah.
Oh,
He'll take her hands in his and just look, Ma. You know how I said sometimes my work involves some slightly shady dealers.
The theater people.
Yeah, the theater people. You know how it is. People get very competitive about being on that stage.
But of course, and running around with all those sharp objects, it's very dangerous.
Yeah. Well, she's one of the.
You often come back with scars. I think they need to put rubber tips on them or something.
Yeah, you'd think they'd make them theater safe, but I guess not.
Is it realism? Is that what they're going for?
Ma.
Oh, sorry.
Did she ask you anything in particular while she was here? Did she bother Dad or?
Just if we'd had any visitors and how long we'd been here.
She didn't say anything else. She didn't poke around upstairs without you, or?
No. She seemed to be waiting for you, so that made her comfortable. And
Did she ask you about the friends that I had come to visit before we left Rosanna?
No, no, she didn't.
That's
No,
good, Mom.
no.
That's good. And he'll give her like a little kiss on the forehead. Okay, that's good.
That detected. She can hold, as you kind of go to pull your hands away. She holds them up. Dad, is everything? Do we need to move again?
Might have to relocate just for the last little bit before. I mean, I think a boat to Craghammer is going to come up any day now, but we might want to just go stay somewhere a bit less.
It's all your father's been talking about. He really wants to, kind of go home, as it were.
Yeah. Look, I'll sort something out. We'll maybe I could put you up in one of the nicer hotels in the Cloud Top.
Be a treat. It would be like a mini holiday.
Yeah, you guys can.
Someone could make
explore the
me
cloud.
cookies.
If I could cook, Ma, I would. But
I understand. It's, artists have a certain style, I suppose.
yep, I have a very particular style. Okay. Look, you and Dad hole up here for a little bit. I've got to go send a work message with the thing I went and got.
Yeah. Well, let us know what. We're just waiting here.
Yeah. If she or any of her friends come knocking again, just don't answer if I'm not here. Okay. I think.
Well, that's awfully rude. But you know what's best. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just it sounds like they're having some funding issues, and they
We don't have any money.
Yeah, it's the production they're putting on. They'll start trying to beg you for anything you've got, and next thing you know, the silverware goes missing, and I worked really hard to get that from our friend's family. So
Yes, I do like their emblem. It's very pretty.
yeah,
Very
it's a
well
really
made.
nice emblem. Yeah, I'll tell Roman you said that next time I
Thank
ever
you.
see him.
Oh no, we think I'm awful.
That's all right. I'll take this, and he'll pick up the hot chocolate and just thanks, Mom.
Thank you. No problem. She'll kind of go over and give the other one to Dana and sit down next to him, and kind of you see her kind of put her hand on his leg and kind of smile at you as presumably you go outside to send the message.
Yeah, he'll go upstairs or something.
Yeah.
He'll just give her a little look, and he looks a little bit deflated and tired, but he manages a little smile, and then he's just gonna trudge upstairs, duck his head as he's going up, so his antlers, his long antelope
I've
style antlers don't hit the ceiling.
never heard tiefling horns called antlers.
They look like
yeah,
antelope antlers.
very true. As you go up, and they took a bit dejected, but pull out the sending scroll you meant, which probably has a more sense of urgency than you did now. And are you messaging Hayden?
Yeah, he's first of all, when he gets upstairs, he will go into a room, one of the bedrooms, I assume it's his, and just briefly before he sends the sending message, he punches the wall.
Yep.
Just
you can take 1 point of bludgeoning damage in pure anger.
That's all right. Yep.
Then pull back, and red knuckles have a tiny little red scar on them. A red scar, but like red cut.
Yep. Shit. All right. He will pull out the sending scroll and unfurl it. And then, he's going to send Hayden a little message.
Okay.
It's 25 words it's sending, isn't it?
26, is it, or 25?
25.
25.
Wait, just give me 1 second to figure this out. I'm going to count on my hand.
I'll restart the tunes. Meantime.
Jamie, do you have any names of particularly dive taverns that I could suggest as a place we could meet up where no one would really give a shit?
Yeah. Let me get my notes. So there is the group has been to the Fixed Leaf they'd be aware of. There's also my thing is being crap. Yeah, there's the Six Nickels in the port. There's the Crowning Cock, which we talked about. Those are two places that are fairly nearby to you.
The Crowning Cock.
The Crowning Cock, yes,
Okay.
that are fairly nearby to you. And there's the Fixed Leaf. The 3 places nearby: the Six Nickels, the Crowning Cock, and the Fixed Leaf.
Just let me count. Okay, that's with 2 words to spare. So Hayden, in the back of his mind, will just feel a slight tickle, I guess. And then just, hey, buddy, it's me. Heard you're in Amman. We should grab a drink. I'm free now. My treat. Crowning Cock. That's all 25 words.
Hayden, you will get this on your way to the brothel.
So as we're walking down the street, Hayden will freeze like in his steps, and if someone's walking behind him, they'll probably like walk straight into his back. And he looks like he starts to become really pale and starts to like look straight up terrified until a couple seconds later it loses it and he just snorts. And he starts laughing, and then he controls himself, and then he's like, I just got a message from Casadius.
Oh, how is he?
Well, he didn't really say, but he did say that he knows I'm in town, which is worrying, because the only people who should know that I'm in town probably should think that I'm dead right now. So,
Well, that explains the reaction. I thought you were having a psychiatric episode.
Yeah. He's asked me to come meet him, but I don't know if it's like a, hey, I'm gonna come kill you kind of thing, or if that's like a, like, I literally just spoke to like a fish merchant who described you to me, and I'm a bit nervous.
Well, or maybe he just heard the announcements about the deeds of the Nice Boys. Baku of the Nice Boys, that was you, right? And might have seen a flyer or something. You know, the great exploits of Baku and Baden took him a few days to get in contact. Doesn't know you've been murdered in the night yet.
That's true. That's true.
No stress. I mean, it's not like he's mafia, right?
Or maybe there's a bounty on your head and he's trying to collect it. But either way, best thing to do is go see him.
Oh,
He's not mafia, right?
well,
Oh.
you're not really meant to out other mafia members, but I guess the
He sort of
context.
is he cool mafia?
He seemed pretty cool when
He's
we
a
met him.
he's a really nice guy. But I'm also starting to question my judgment of characters. So,
He's not cool mafia. He'll be the first one on our what was it? How did Percy communicate it? Walk into a bar and shoot them list.
Either way, I don't see the harm in going to see him.
He shoots us, we shoot him back, but with a bigger gun.
I have a question, DM.
What's a gun?
Yes.
When Casadius met the party, was Aku there?
Yes. Yes, it would have been after the Barb Fields.
He was in.
And
We met him in the Bob Fields, right? with the
yeah,
Bob Fields.
no, in the Barb Fields because it was just after
Yeah.
the ghost happened. And then the invasion of House Violent. I think Aku was there. No, Aku
Like he
wasn't.
sat it out back at the hideout.
Yeah, you just didn't go on the heist, but you have certainly met Casadius.
We didn't
So
speak
I-
much, it's okay. He was
Okay, so-
intimidated by Aku's attractiveness.
Many are.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out that where is it? Shit. This card is not back to front, it is two-sided. Clearly.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. Thank you for telling me that.
I'm sorry
So,
for interrupting the session, please go on.
Arguably, Aku knows the least about Casadius than anyone else because he was checked out for a while.
Yes. For various roleplay reasons, Aku was not very present for those sessions and didn't go on the heist. But is
Mhm.
at least aware.
Let's just say he was not in the driver's seat for that period of time. I think that explains everything, probably.
Yes.
I mean, I guess if Cass has been informed that I'm here from someone in the clasp, then I suppose they already know, so there's no harm in going to meet him, right?
Right, we just kidnap him and torture him for information
Ooh.
about who else knows.
Let's not
Oh.
calm down. We don't do any torturing here.
Why not?
We're the nice boys. They don't
Oh,
torture.
right. It is in the name, isn't it?
Robbing,
Why not?
I'm
torturing.
kidding.
Do you-
I'm not suggesting we torture your friend.
You gotta pause this. Yeah, that would be a strange thing to suggest.
Guys, I know what's
Definitely.
going on with all the Asmodeus stuff, but I'm not a bad guy, alright? Like,
Yeah, of course.
we're chilling. But if he does shoot us, basically, no harm in going. I think.
I guess, yeah. He said to meet him at the Crown and Cock.
Okay.
What now?
The Crown and Cock.
It's a bar. It's a pub.
Yeah, it's kind of just a dingy hole in the wall.
Bit of a sleazy pub.
Dingy hole, is it?
Yeah. Not
Just
if you want to meet someone for not good things, it's probably one of the places you might go.
cheap
Right.
date.
Is it
Yeah.
another brothel? Is that what we're talking about here?
Maybe.
Well, I
Not
mean,
that they would ever admit it.
in the toilets,
Dowling
yeah.
Cock, the place where you want to meet somebody for not so nice things.
Generally, yes.
Right?
Come on,
Sounds
you'll like it.
wonderful.
Let's go.
This is a note. You can reply to sending, so Cass is just sat in his room like, maybe they didn't get my message.
Oh, I guess Corey did kill him after all.
Hayden will reply.
I mean, if Hayden doesn't know, he doesn't have to reply.
Hayden's received a sending before, I think.
Rash used sending all the time, and
Yeah, he'll
yeah,
know.
you definitely know you can reply.
Okay. Hi, Cass. Good to hear from you. I hope your parents are good. We will come visit you soon. Bye. 25 words, right?
Yep.
There we go.
Good job.
Thanks.
At least you didn't just end your message on the word cock.
Yeah, so he replies to Cass, and I guess do we want to go there now? Do we want to go to the brothel? What do you...
harm in going now?
I'm surprisingly relaxed about a hag having a piece of my brain, so I'm easy.
Oh, okay. Jamie,
Yep.
where we
Sounds
are
right.
in the city now, are we closer to the Crown and Cock, or are we closer to the brothel?
If you're coming
he
from the
knows
Cards
that.
Up district, you're closer to the center of the district, which is closer to the brothel.
Okay.
Should we swing by the brothel
It's
quickly?
okay, Cass will go pre-drink, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the brothel's on the way, so we could stop in and see if Veronica's there, and...
I mean, we're just checking out. We won't be there very long, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just
Right.
pay and
Yeah.
leave, and then we'll head on to the Crown and Cock. I know a shortcut, by the way, and he'll like point down an alley, and I'm gonna use my feature, which I have never used in this campaign, which is my urban oh god, what's urchin? Sorry, urchin
I
background.
did use it once.
Have I used it
Brown
before?
features.
I don't know. I feel like you might have.
I know that.
No, I think Asgard used it.
Yeah, Luke's used his noble
Yeah.
background, but my urchin background means that I can travel through cities faster than normal, which is kind of a useless feat because not many campaigns track how long it takes to travel across a city. You know the secret patterns and flow to cities and can find passages through the urban scroll that others would miss. When you're not in combat, you and companions you lead can travel between any two locations in the city twice as fast as your speed would normally allow.
Wow. Okay. So you can probably get there in time for both of the events.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hayden masterfully navigates your way through Amon. Given you haven't been to the city before,
Hold
you've
on.
now
How are we
spent.
not celebrating how pimping that was? That's
No,
a
it's
fact you
fine.
did the background. Speciality.
Thank you,
That was
Luke.
a round of applause, everybody. Round of applause.
I was
everybody.
inspired by you, Luke.
Do you know,
Okay.
rather embarrassingly, mine would have let me stay at the hag brothel for free. And I just
dang.
didn't read it.
See, read your background features. I learned that from Luke.
Don't. It makes my job harder. um, again, Hayden, you now know the layout of this city pretty well, having now been here for 4 or 5 days. The rest of you, obviously, Zug and Ascol, this is your home city. But Hayden still manages to find little crevices Ascol would never have gone down. Zug, you might have looked down them and think, I don't get paid enough to walk down there. And you make your way fairly quickly to the open purse, which, as you remember, is down a small little back alley underneath the kind of the side entrance. And as you knock in, there's the kind of Oni guard again kind of looks over and goes over and goes, "Oh, you're back!" Looking directly at Zug.
Yes.
Kind of pulls open the door and kind of brings you in for a hug.
Hey, of course. He gives him a big clap on the back and says, "Yeah, it was a good one this time."
Oh wow, I can see. He looks over at Hayden. You got messed up. What happened to your eye?
I lost it in a bet.
Oh, what were you betting? What were you gonna win? Or did you win?
I was betting on moorbounder races.
What's a moorbounder?
They're like horses,
Like, really?
but they
Imagine
got
if a
horns on
horse
them.
it was like some sort of devil cat the size of a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, they are. Huge.
Oh,
Tear a man to pieces.
where?
He turns to Hayden. Where?
I can't tell you. It's a trade secret. Sorry.
Oh,
He's really boring. I'm sorry about him.
that's okay. It's normal betting, I guess. You're here to. Should I get Troy?
We're here to check out.
Oh.
I'll visit Troy later.
Oh. My
We'll be
eyes
back.
raised a little bit.
We'll be back, friend. Don't worry. We just need to move because our position may have been compromised. He says with his hand on his shoulder.
Those are big
We're
words. You're
worried.
very. Those are big words. You're very smart. brings brings you in and sits you down and goes away. And after some time, very pale, black long hair, elegant, kind of black dress. And Veronica walks in and kind of gives you all a very toothy, slightly too wide smile. Green eyes flash and eyes linger ever so slightly too long on Aku, and says, "I hear you're planning on leaving. It's a shame."
I'd like
That
our
is-
bits of brain back, actually.
It's not quite how it works, but a deal's a deal. And kind of silver strands of your hair, kind of you can see them materialize behind her and turn into gold. She kind of like flicks each one at each of you, and your stats are restored as you lost them. She says, "So you're leaving the city?"
Not quite. No. We are just our position's been compromised and we have to move.
I can see you look an awful lot worse for wear than when last you left. Pain in your eye, and Aku's been through a lot. I can sympathize.
Hmm.
Aku looks extremely sour at her, like, he
Oh,
looks
come
salty
on.
as fuck.
I mean, how much or how many has Aku been through?
What's another mind in an already crowded room?
That's
He is
point.
like, if anyone's watching Aku, like, he looks like a vein is like about to pop, like in his forehead. Like he is just about keeping it together, not like straight out gunning for this woman. And he turns around and
I'm sorry Silas ended our fun early, but you can consider our deal fulfilled. Not yours, Barnes. I'm still waiting for my song.
Are you going to be kidnapping my body and mind? Because actually, if you find anything out in there while you're hanging out in my brain, I'd love to know.
I certainly will not be kidnapping your mind.
What is it you'll be kidnapping? I seem something.
Barnes, you strike me as the type of person who enjoys the anticipation.
I do. I really do.
Wonderful.
I do
Then
love a
go
surprise.
and anticipate away.
Am I going to like the surprise?
Maybe.
We'll see when it comes. Great. Can't wait. How long do I have, actually? Did we say a week?
Yes.
A week. Great.
10 days. 3 of which have gone.
I'll think of something really nice.
Wonderful. I'm glad you enjoyed your stay at the Open Pass. You are all welcome back wherever you want, except for you, pointing at the door at Ascor.
I fail to see the issue.
Your leg fell off. Terrified a few of my customers.
Well, we've all been legless once in a while, haven't we?
I have the foggiest idea what that means. You are. Thank you, and Troy does send his best.
Well, I should hope so. I'll be back to see him soon, so he doesn't need to use you as a middlewoman.
He's off today, so you're welcome to visit him whenever you like.
I might just do that. Thank you for the heads up.
Wonderful. Goodbye. And best of luck. And you will file out one by one. You will have your stats restored. Everything is back where it were. Aku has successfully not stabbed the NPC. Whether or not that's successful or not, I
Yeah,
guess
Bonds
we
is
shall see.
probably like, given that Aku's outburst at breakfast and the flipped table has been gone, well, it's gone fairly unresolved. Bonds is probably permanently watching him with a calm emotion spell never far from his fingertips, ready for the next table.
I hope you guys are proud of me.
Ooh.
This is character development, man. Not
Mm-hmm.
No, it's no
I
I
stabbing.
mean, I'm
mean,
also going to say that's a charisma save, and that's a paladin right there.
Very
It was
true.
just wisdom and thingy, right?
Wisdom and
you
intelligence
sound-
was restored.
Yeah.
SQ, you sound a bit quiet to me. Is it just
Oh,
me?
it might be my mic is really far away. There you go. I think I
Yeah, we're
fixed
missing the heavy breathing there, Ski.
it. Apologies.
Give us the wind tunnel, Esky.
Which means, unless there's anywhere else you are going, you are making your way to the
Downtown,
less subtly named Crowning Cock, away from the open purse.
walking fast.
We make our way downtown.
Cool. I probably wait ever so slightly for Aaron to get back. Casadius, in the meantime, you've gone to the inn.
Just as a note, he will have double checked that no one's following him on the way. He'd have gone an awkwardly long route. He'd have
I'll take
dodged around multiple back alleys.
your perception check, and could you roll a stealth check for me?
Okay, so perception and stealth. So, so 25 on perception,
Yeah.
and on stealth it is another 25.
Okay, right.
Ooh,
You're-
see, you'll be seen.
No
You're
catch.
pretty certain you're not being followed, and you're also pretty certain that if you were, you would have lost them. You're good at your job, exceptionally so, to survive as long as you have. You're going to the Crowning Cock, which is a haunt you've had for a couple of times. Sometimes you just can't beat some absolute crap food and some beer, but
In
it's
the
also
good
a
old
nice,
cock.
in the good old cock. But it's also a place nobody's going to look at you twice. It's also, you have some dirt on the innkeeper. Anywhere a cast spends a decent amount of time, he probably investigates the people who only spend some time around them. His name is Thrarai, Thrarai. Generally a pretty good innkeeper, doesn't ask questions, doesn't ask them back. However, while looking around, you did learn that every other Tuesday, he and a couple of his friends hold a ritual to Tharizdun in his basement. And you think that if someone's
Easy.
doing that, their problems are probably bigger than yours, and if ever you needed to threaten him, that's pretty good.
Yeah, he's probably also spoken to some of his like artisan friends and keeps getting little mini totems to Tharizdun that are obviously fake made and just giving them to this guy as like a
Yeah.
show of goodwill. But the guy will probably think they're real because
So you're part of his cult, he thinks.
praise be Tharizdun. Every time he leaves like like when a condensation forms on like a glass of ale, he just like gets the wet condensation and draws a little spiral wherever he's being sat. It's always the wrong way around for what Tharizdun symbol's actually meant to be, but no one else knows.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys nodded to the chained oblivion. And surprisingly, all your drinks are free here.
Ain't surprisingly.
Surprisingly. And as you're sitting in the corner, waiting, can't probably help but feel nervous. Not only at best your best efforts were you followed, but what exactly have the boy band done? And why is Kari quite so offended, interested? What you got from that? Oh, and for the rest of you, I know Sai mentioned it. I was trying to hint a little bit that Kari is unaware that that Kari believes you're dead, but didn't want to necessarily tell Cass that you were dead in case Cass did know or said something else to the effect. So it's not like she secretly found out or something. I'm not a perfect. That's what I was trying to imply. That's what you should have got. However, the rest of you, you arrive outside of the Crowning Cock, which, as Zug described, pretty much a hole in the wall. It's down a tiny little alleyway off the docks. A single-story, half-timbered building, unusually low ceilings, as you can see. One of the big casts is probably kind of a little bit stuck down. Does have a basement underneath, but is predominantly there's a tiny little kind of wooden thing on the outside that Thoraya needs to get outside, climb a ladder to get into, that you presume is his bedroom or where he sleeps, and then the rest of the bar is underneath. And there's kind of, if very much needed, there are straw mats, but this is not really some place to stay. Or you could stay in the basement, which probably isn't recommended. Walking inside, actually, you guys are outside. you imagine Cass is inside. If there's anything you wanted to say or talk about before you go in, now is the time.
So, are we expecting to be shot at? Like, what's the
Hopefully not.
actual situation here? Is this a drink or what?
I really don't know. It could be. Hoping not.
Could you make a investigation check for me, Hayden?
DM, sorry, I missed the pretext to what happened here. I zoned out for a second while reading something. Can you?
You're
remind-
just
remind us?
describing the inn where you've got to, where you're meeting Kaz.
My investigation. Oh, sorry.
No, go on. Investigation.
Oh, it's a 21.
21. Looking around, you don't see any signs of kind of concealment or people who are hiding away. There's no ambush looking here. You also look at the small shack, small single story building. This would be an exceptionally poor place for an ambush. You imagine that if this was an ambush, you choose somewhere that was a bit harder to break out of, that wasn't quite so easily and could contain more people. Especially last time, like you look at it and you think this is a terrible place for an ambush, and it probably relaxes you a little bit, alongside the fact you're looking around. It's a busy, bustling street outside, but nothing rouses your suspicions.
Okay, cool. Kind of let the group know, like, I mean, if they were planning on ambushing here, this is a pretty lousy place for it, so it's probably okay. And if it's not okay, we can probably outgun them, so...
Well, if you're feeling safe, I feel super safe.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm feeling safe, but I mean, probability-wise...
There was confidence in your voice there. I like it. Keep it up. Feel safe more. We can outgun them all the time.
You know what? You're right. I should try to be more positive. Should we go in? Let's go in. And he's gonna push the door open to the crowning cock.
Crowning cock. It is. There's a small little sign for it. I enter the crowning cock. It is small. It is dingy, as you saw. There is a ramshackle bar at one side.
Sorry, the crowning cock is small.
It's what, sorry?
It's a small
the
crowning
crowning
cock.
cock.
It's a small crowning
It's a small
cock.
cock.
It's
yeah.
not about.
It's a proud bar. And
It does the best with what it has.
Yeah, right on the other side, a small, very tattooed, kind of see some of them are hidden by sleeves. Dwarf is manning the bar. There are some patrons, 3 to be exact. Casadius in the corner, which we will deal with in a second. Another male dwarf, who seems oddly fey in appearance. Kind of uneven silver hair, bright blue eyes, sitting off to one side. And a male elf who seems to be wearing not particularly nice clothes, long face, curly brown hair, dark amber eyes. Several pouches are kind of hanging off from his belt. You see him kind of staring into his lost. Nobody here is looking at each other. The barman is kind of half cleaning a glass. The other 2 are kind of sitting. The dwarf is kind of writing in his notebook. The other one's just staring into his glass. It is quiet. It is dingy. It is 11 o'clock, and this is not a vibrant bar. However, there is in the corner someone who brings color to the bar and any room he enters. Hannah, if you could describe Casadius for the stream once again. However, I believe Academia's just gone to eat food, which is not great. Given this is normally roughly when we take a break, and not to spring on you too much, if we have a break until 1:15, and then we can start off with the description of Casadius, then moving into roleplay of Casadius, if that makes sense for everyone.
1:15?
1:45, sorry, 1:45. Yeah. So 7 minutes.
7-minute
Okay,
break.
cool.
7-minute break.
Okay,
Cool.
cool.
Amazing.
All right.
Alright. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm actually live.
We're back.
Real, yeah.
We're back, baby.
I can be in a K-pop band.
I believe it.
Hello. Yes, the boy band are back. Previously, we had Kari dare to imply or threaten 2 dwarfs who are heavily protected. And we had the boy band make their way to the open purse, who to check out and return some of their brain cells. The second one, first one is being used. And they have made their way to the Crowning Cock and entered a dark, dingy, smelly,
not particularly well taken care of place. And
Particularly
across-
neglected cock.
particularly neglected part.
Could do with some
and,
manscaping.
yeah,
Mhm.
across the bar,
And
sitting
let's
in the corner,
introduce this week's sponsor, Manscaped.
sitting across the corner, they see their friend, well, some of their friend, Casadius. And yes, Hannah, if you could re-describe him for stream.
So you will see across the bar, sort of like not sat as confidently as you would have expected him to from how you remember his like general persona. He sort of sat at the table. He's kind of been anxiously watching the door, waiting for you guys to come in. He is a red tiefling, about 6'3", and then with horns on top. His horns are kind of like antelope antlers, so they spiral and go up. He has little white freckles across his nose and cheeks. Turquoise eyes with no pupil, just the entire like sclera of the eye is just turquoise. His hair looks a bit longer than the last time you saw him. He's still got the sides undercut, but the front is kind of shaggier and seems to be. He's having to do the sort of boy band flick to keep his hair out of his eyes just a bit.
Appropriate.
The mullet's getting worse. He's got his little goatee still, and much like at the party, you recall him wearing a little septum piercing. He's got a silver ring in his septum currently. Baggy, like dark bags under his eyes. Like he looks like he hasn't been sleeping brilliantly recently, which is different from the last time you saw him when he just seemed a bit more in control of everything. He's still wearing his nice little blue, what's the right phrase? Cloak? Mantle? Mantle. But he has that hanging open and just held together by some decorative embellishments across. His shirt is open down to the navel now. Just tits out. Little like leather choker collar that seems to be holding some kind of armor on underneath the shirt. And he's now wearing mostly all black with studded black leather accessories, tight leather trousers, and some rather fancy looking boots that you don't recall him wearing last time. All his clothes looked well made last time you saw him, but kind of worn down to a point where they probably could have done with replacing, and it looks like he's finally upgraded. There will be art to follow, I promise. His
On
tail
its
is kind
way.
of just
Ace-
swishing agitatedly.
So basically, he's gone to a pride party and it's only Tuesday yet, and he's still holding it down.
A slightly more agitated is a good word. Akasa is a bit more agitated than last you saw him and has been agitated for a little while. Cass, looking over at the group, you see several things immediately. Rasha, who you know's in town, because Rasha has not been unnoticed, is no longer with the boy band. Hayden has a large scar on his chest and is missing an eye. There's a scar going down it as well. And there's a new member. Could you describe Barnes?
Please do.
Barnes is a real cutie, Cass. He's got a friendly kind of expression, kind of messy, curled blonde hair, and thin scars that kind of track around the outside of his eyes with kind of light stitches, which sort of you don't really necessarily spot until the light catches them a certain way. He wears pretty ostentatiously colourful clothing, very comfy looking wools, in a maybe kind of unfamiliar style. It feels both very archaic and very modern. And in that vein, he's got these kind of almost relics that dangle off his belt, like I don't know, a gadgetry kind of keychain, but knickknacks and shapes you just don't know what they are, just don't know what they do. He's got a big music instrument case on his back, which again you don't quite recognize the shape. He just looks a little out of step with the reality around him. Both in demeanor, which is perhaps overly cheerful for this Tharizdun dive bar, and also just how he dresses. Yeah.
It's probably not dawned on you that this person is wearing multiple bits of tourist memorabilia from Would still
No,
be
he's
wearing that?
taking the tourist
Okay,
stuff
he's
off
You
taking-
mean the tourist trap stuff that Cass would have like steered his family away from?
Yeah, the
but-
hats,
yeah,
the
Barnes' first day
rings.
in Amon, he bought Amon hats. He bought some back to Vespin Chloris. He has a mug, like all that shit. But he's calmed down now. He's calmed down. Like he's at the Ren Fair, and he's like maybe day 3 or 4. He stopped buying everything at every stall. He's containing himself a little better.
DM, on this note, what color are the post boxes in there, Mon?
Brown, because they're wooden and not painted. I don't know.
Power move.
I will go with what's the easiest paint for like a medieval society to produce?
Red,
Probably
green.
red. I'll go red.
Maybe
They're
green.
red. They're red.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, walking in.
So walking in, Hayden will approach Cass's table, catching sight of his new shoes kind of just underneath the wood. He'll kind of slide into the booth and just casually say, "So who'd you steal those off of?" Give him a little
Oh.
nudge under the table with his boot.
Cass will give him a quick little nudge back, and then he'll sort of whip the back of Hayden's leg with his tail. Oh, you know me, I'm a reputable man. I only buy things with legitimate money. When I'm in Amon, anyway.
Sure. He'll glance over to the party and kind of nod to them and be like, "You know most of these guys, but the new one is Barnes. Barnes, this is Cass."
Pleasure to meet you.
Like to see a man with a big instrument.
Well, it's the right place for it, isn't it?
Well, they don't really do music nights here. I've been pushing for it, but you know.
Maybe I should start them.
Wait, you seriously frequent this place?
Well, I've only been here for like 3 weeks, but this is the best drinks you can get, you know.
Okay, well,
Well,
I can tell you
but-
as someone who has been here for longer than 3 weeks, this is definitely not the best place you can get for drinks. This is, and he looks around, this is pretty bad, actually. I would not recommend this to anybody.
Well,
when the
it's-
barman walks over.
Oh, hi!
Well,
He
they
turns
kind
with
of
a
gives
huge
you a-
smile.
Gives you a glaring look, clearly having heard everything. And gives Kaz a kind of questionable look.
Right. They're just some work friends. They don't mean anything by it. They're just having a little bit of fun. And just as a sort of like, as he like nods at Tarai, his tail forms a little spiral. And he gives him a little like wink.
And then, kind of grunts to himself and gives Zug another dirty look, and before kind of nodding at the rest of you. And
How about a
Smiles back
round?
at him.
How about a round for the table for my good work associates?
As you, Casadius as Casadius kind of looks out across the crowd, the group, he probably notices that Ascor visibly isn't there, but there is somebody with them who seems completely at peace. Ascor is in disguise for everyone else, who is just a short, plump man in a suit. Just can't see his eyes. His hair comes down over. But,
Cass looks at him. He's gonna look at Hayden and just, wow, Ascor really let himself go, huh?
Yeah. All the food in Resona.
And Ascor, sort of interrupts him. I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh,
Oh no.
sorry, I mistook you for someone else.
Yeah, quite.
Easy to do. You're very similar looking. From my memory, anyway. And Cass will
Yeah.
just give him a little wink and a.
And Ascor's in his disguise goes, sort of smiles.
Barman returns with several dirty tankards, an especially dirty one for Zug, when the mead has been especially watered down.
With piss, be honest.
Yeah. He did disappear for a little bit. Kaz is a fairly clean mug with an unwatered down.
Hans just pushes his over to Zug on the expectation he probably will drink it.
It's like just kind of looks at it and goes,
They'll make it up to you later.
He tells the barman, "Thank you very much. Fine service as always."
Cass will
recognize you.
slide Hayden's drink towards him and just, I have a feeling that we all need to catch up a little bit because you're not looking so good right now, buddy.
Yeah, about that.
And you're down one, I notice. Two, actually.
Yeah. Roman decided to stay in Rasona.
Yeah, he's still with us, just from afar.
Yeah,
Nice.
we keep in touch with him. Rasha is, following his own path.
Less with us, but not as far, actually.
Yeah, I've heard or seen him around a little bit. Didn't think it was safe to go say hi, but
Not against us. Yet.
In fact, we
Yet.
might join forces about, when we go underground.
literally underground, or are you trying to stay below the radar?
Literally underground.
Cass, I'm gonna be straight up. Who sent you to get in touch with us?
Oh, this was a personal choice after I had a friendly little visit from someone I wasn't really expecting to be around my family earlier today.
Being...
Oh, a mutual friend of ours. Green-eyed, pointy features, you know.
Right.
You
Who is
notice,
that?
you notice Cass's grip on his tankard tightens as he's explaining.
For those of us not in the mafia, are we talking about Corey? Like,
Lawrence, keep your voice.
we're in a shady dive bar. It's all fine. Look,
The
I
name
can't
of,
deal with all these mafia metaphors.
Cass, they know.
No. I'll have to correct you there. I think you should choose your words carefully, referring to the fine gentleman. Fine gentleman.
Cass, they know about me, and I had to kind of tell them about you. So, sorry.
Oh, that's alright. Hi again, guys. Officially just...
Ass from the mafia. Hi.
Yeah.
Is that like
kinda-
a full-time position or more like a
Oh.
contractor?
At the moment, I'm moving away towards contractor work and just trying to, go a little bit straight. Just a little
That's
bit.
okay.
Are you like an extortion kind of mafia or like a stabbing kind of mafia? What's your
I do a
your thing?
little bit of everything. Jack of all trades, as they like
Oh.
to say.
Cool.
So Zug looks a lot more serious all of a sudden, and having gone back to 10 intelligence,
Oh,
he can now read the room slightly better than he could before. And he notices that this is a serious conversation, so he looks a little bit more serious. He's not completely clueless as what he looked for the past 3 or 4 weeks. So, this Kari, are we planning on keeping away from her, or are we going to deal with her like Percy asked for?
oh, you've been asked to deal with Corey.
Not directly.
Indirect.
We're to be dealt with. Let's just say there wouldn't be too many eyes upon us.
We have somewhat of a what's the word? It's a different
Diplomatic
language.
immunity.
White card,
License
do
to
whatever we
shoot and
want.
kill.
something like that.
License to Kill. That was a film that I remember watching back when.
Oh, what?
What's a
I
film?
don't.
A film.
Barnes comes up with all these strange things. He's not from around here all this time.
No, I'm not from around right now.
Is that like like the stuff you get on top of a drink? Film.
No.
Oh,
I'll
when
play
you-
some.
when you-
How about I put?
When you leave one of my Mars hot chocolates out for too long, it gets that kind of...
Yeah.
I'll
Yummy.
put a big screen in the mansion later, and we can watch movies. It'll be great.
What?
What's a
It'll be a bit of
screen?
an improvisation. You'll see. We'll have a party later. Get some popcorn.
Ah,
All right,
okay.
Anyway,
back to the
Mafia.
matter.
Um, So wait, so Kari visited your parents? Or they?
Hold on. I think it's only fair that we choose a more fitting synonym for the individual. Who, as far as best of my knowledge, no laws were broken during the mafioso interaction, of course, and they're a sector of the industry. So I think it's only fitting that you retract your statement and refer to them by a different synonym.
I just can't keep track of what you're saying,
why
dude.
don't we just call her the queen bitch? That's
Queen bitch, right.
all right.
Queen bee.
Level them up. Queen it is. Queen it is.
I'm
Oh,
more than
queen.
happy with that.
The
So we're
queen
going to talk
visited.
about conspiring to murder a queen. Great, cool.
She visited your parents.
Yeah, I went out to get the scroll to send you that little message I sent you earlier, and just planning to check in. I saw some stuff happen on the docks. I was a little bit concerned about.
Look at it. What did you see on the docks?
I saw you there, big guy.
Oh, that old thing. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
Glorious, actually.
Yeah, it was yeah, it was a more of a rehearsed deal. We were doing other
Maybe
things. It was
You
a
and
distraction.
Colcor could make a film, you know. Action flick, be fantastic.
I don't know if we're really on first name or friend basis. Really, he did. It wasn't lethal, but
Oh, we liked you, I could tell.
I still almost drowned, which wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, I jumped in and helped you, but I'm not a big fan of water and
I don't mind it.
incognito, you know.
Just when I'm not in, and he kind of gestures to his metal armor.
It's fair. But yeah, back on the subject of the queen. I got home, the door that I'd left locked quite securely was unlocked, and she had a little entourage waiting around the side. And she was inside having cookies and hot drinks with my parents, so that was
Okay.
fun.
Uh,
Fun to
I
come
am
home to.
Hasn't
no
to be
experts,
threatening.
but that is definitely a threat. Yes, that was a threat.
What
Yeah.
did she want?
She was checking how well I knew you guys, if I'd had any contact with you, if I'd.
Well,
She
us
kind of,
guys, as in
yeah,
all of us.
Hayden in particular, but seemed to think the rest of you would be where Hayden would be, I guess. Just checking what my links to you guys were, if we were still friendly, and insinuated I better not go down a similar path to our buddy here. Just gestures Hayden. Which is rather unfortunate, as you can tell, and as you're aware, I'm trying to find my way out of the business, settle down, maybe find something a bit more me these days.
When Kari was asking after us, did she... I've got no idea how to ask this without it sounding fucking weird, so she insinuate if she knew if we were dead or alive at all?
You can make an insight check. Your
I can make an insight check.
yeah, on a
Bear
previous
with me.
conversation.
Insight. Yeah, 16.
16. There was a vague smile on Kari's face when she said they'd lost track of Hayden.
So that insinuate that she was hopeful he was alive?
Oh, glad he was dead.
That she knew he was. They'd lost track of him in a way that was like, we won't find him again. Like, it was we know where he is, but like, it was an odd comment to make, phrased oddly with an odd expression, kind of implying he
The
was dead.
insinuation is so, yeah.
I lost him in the River Thames with a
Yeah, like,
10-ton
where'd
rock
he go?
strapped to his ankles.
Yeah.
Well,
Happens. Happens to the best of us.
Oops.
the impression I got was that maybe she thought you were dead, suppose. Didn't seem too unhappy about it.
Um,
Is that what all this is about? And he kind of like gestures the scar in the eye without wanting to point to them too obviously.
yeah, this Justice's sorry, was a parting gift from Kari, before she threw Aku and my bodies into the river.
Wait, she got both of you?
We're both dead for. Well, as you can see, came at a cost. We're trying to not let her.
As you can imagine, we're after some form of revenge.
Well,
Sorry to interject. Do we have any fire beats that could be fired up?
I've just hit.
Say that in Boris Johnson's voice, please.
Well, it's only a matter of time until we see the beats fire up and build back better, and the hottest fire in the G7.
Good.
We just need like a stand-up night for just Luke to just do a bunch of impressions.
We just ask Luke questions in his various character voices.
So yeah, we're trying to avoid her coming across us again. Well, I was a bit concerned when you messaged me, Blue.
Oh yeah, I mean I would be too, but you know me, I'm not actually like that with the clasp anymore.
Yeah.
Or trying not to be, anyway.
I certainly never found a way to leave without, so,
Well, I mean, as far as she knows, you're dead, right?
Yeah, for now.
Strikes me as that the easiest way to leave the clasp is if either you or they die, correct?
Well, this branch of the clasp, yeah, I mean, not everyone will know you're a member of the clasp, Hayden. Until I met you, I wasn't really privy to that, so...
True. I didn't know about Nadan until he told me, so...
You just cut off the heads of the Hydra that have already spotted you. The other ones are blind.
I haven't been briefed on the class for a very, very, very long time, but last time they went through it, as far as I was aware within the organization, if one of the leaders died, they tended to just kind of replace them on the fly. There wasn't much repercussion, It was a very aggressive industry. A lot of people vying for the top.
People die in this business all the time as well.
Exactly. So what I'm implying is if Kari were to meet an unfortunate end, someone else would replace them with maybe less of a grudge towards us.
That's information, assumedly.
Perhaps.
Jamie.
Yeah. That's hardly going to be a legal challenge.
My understanding, so do I know whether or not the other spirelings are quite fond of Kari? Or...
So it was unusual that Shen stepped down without being murdered, rather than having Kari go on, which indicates either Kari is particularly powerful, or particularly proficient, or particularly popular, or particularly feared, or particularly respected. Any of the above is kind of possible.
Yeah.
You suspect, so a little bit. You suspect that she's at least very useful to them.
So maybe if she died, that might cause further repercussion if we're not careful about how we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's certainly... You suspect it's a bit... It might just not need to be her. But certainly...
Her
once...
and Harak?
I would argue you think once the leadership's gone. There might be some indicators to revenge, but also if they can do that to people who are... It's kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, there might be repercussions. On the other hand, if you can do that to Kari, they might just want nothing to do with you anymore because Kari is
be a-
clearly powerful and strong.
Would it be a good idea to get rid of Harak as well, just so that there's no leadership?
I imagine you probably think so. Yes.
Well, on a inside knowledge here, I don't know how much engagement, Hayden, you had with people outside of Kari. There are other clasp leaders in the area, but I would say at this point, if you get rid of both her and Harak, it'd create a bit of a vacuum. Might be a bit of a panic afterwards to see who takes her place. His place, their place.
I mean, Kari never shared much with me, but know if they have like ledgers with our names on it, or how do they know who it? Like if we kill off Kari and Harak, are there other people who know who we are, or
Mostly on a need-to-know basis. Be people you've contacted before, people who've contacted you, people who've been put in touch with you by higher-ups. It's usually the higher-ups that know everyone's details, but the further down the pyramid you go, the more it disperses out and fewer people know who's who. Safety and anonymity, right?
of course. So I was really under the impression we were gonna have to.
Well, there was a Shen, but
Yeah, we.
haven't seen him around for a while, so.
Jamie, am I right in remembering that we killed Shen during that fight?
Yep. We
You
dealt
did,
with
yes.
him. Bye, bitch.
Hayden kind of glances at Aku. Back to Cass. I don't think we'll be Shen.
I think that's bought you another drink there. Some castle gesture.
Yeah.
Some shots. Let's go.
Thank fuck for that.
Some very questionable shots. Some very questionable shot class.
Do they deliver blowjob shots? Is that what they said?
Whatever it is, it's strong.
Oh yeah.
Hayden kind of nips his drink. Still a little bit nervous about drinking things after being poisoned a couple days ago.
Trust me, the only poisoning that will happen here is food poisoning, and as long as you're not touching the food, you're fine.
Even I wouldn't touch the food.
There's a
And
shot.
once again, he
Lots
looks
on the
over
table.
kind of in the direction of the barkeep and kind of gives him a smile and lifts the tankard. And then puts the tankard down and like picks a hair out of it and just kind of like drops it on the floor next to
Shut
him.
up and drink your piss water.
So glad I can't eat or drink.
Meant to be gravelly. I feel like that wasn't meant to have gravel in it. Never mind. He'll like move his shot glass away from him.
Just don't chew it. You're fine.
Okay. So right. Are your parents being threatened by Kari, or just asking for information? Like, what's going on with you?
Kari's presence alone, I would assume, is a threat, to be completely honest with you. I was kind of hoping we could stay under the radar until we got to Craghammer, but I can see that's not going to happen. I'm going to suggest my parents move up to the Cloudtop district and just fork out for a nice, fancy place for them to stay as a treat before we head off.
I could put them in an extra planar mansion, but to be honest, I'm not sure it's quite. Well, if they're very normal, it might not be the right place for them.
You have a what?
Extra planar mansion.
It's as crazy as it sounds.
There's like these little like imp things that like run around and they like to be kicked. Apparently,
Do they cook?
Oh, you don't even need to cook. It's amazing. The food, phenomenal. And infinite.
Infinite
the
food,
food
right?
is actually pretty good.
Well, my mom did want somewhere that would cook for her, so.
You don't even need to get cooked for. You just ask for it. And it
Right.
arrives.
Snap your fingers and they'll show up with whatever you fancy.
Uh-huh.
Cookies, cream.
How long
Roast.
How long does that last, that mansion of yours?
Just do it once every 24 hours and you can hang out there as long as you like.
I mean, if you guys would be cool with that, my parents don't take up much room, you know that.
Well, there's
I
plenty
think-
of space there. It's huge.
Most importantly, they can't be found once they're put in it.
Well, that'd be a big help if you're okay with that.
Sure, why not? I'll try and his eyes dart to the rest of the party. I'll try and normalize it a little bit for the benefit of others' comfort this time, perhaps.
Oh yeah, just tell them it's a fancy hotel or something. Get the imps to wear some tuxedos or something. I don't know.
They already were
already
wearing a
do
few.
little bows
Yeah.
and stuff.
No, I think she'd believe it. I mean, I just tell her it's a fancy hotel in Mons.
Right.
Huh. Well, well, yeah. Back to the subject matter after that. Yeah, it's just Kari knowing that my parents are here, knowing that they're a sore spot for me is a bit of an issue. So if you guys are thinking of trying to deal with her, I wouldn't be completely adverse to helping with that.
Yeah. He kind of looks to Barnes and Aku again. We've been discussing that possibility of dealing with her. I kind of not really certain about it myself, but I don't really think I'm in the best place to be making decisions, so.
If you're worried you owe her something.
No, it's just... It's hard. She was... I don't know. She literally killed me. Like, she literally ended my life. So I shouldn't have any sort of qualms about this whatsoever, but she was also like family for a really long time. So it's, I don't know, it was weird enough killing Shen, and I fucking hated him, but I don't know. It's a lot to process, so I've been trying to work my way through it over the past couple of days, but it's still, I don't know how I feel about it.
Well, Hayden, you don't lack courage. And if I know anything, it's that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So, let's win.
Yeah.
Barnes is right, standing up to people you know and love is a lot harder than standing up to people you don't. You've already done it once.
Yeah.
That's one more time.
Barnes just kind of blinks and just looks at Cass and just kind of wordlessly goes, wow, it's nice being around someone else like me.
Just chill vibing.
Wow.
Wow.
Now the party has two people who aren't emotionally inept.
You're not raised by two lovely dwarves and come out emotionally inept, let me tell you.
There's infinitely more percent than most D&D parties. So.
All two of us? No.
So, yeah, I guess. When are we doing this?
Well, why don't we go to your little mansion thing and plan from there? I can bring my parents along. We can send them to a VIP suite or something, and then no one can hear us in there, right?
No,
Not at
no.
all.
Can't scry, can't use any sort of divination magic to locate them. They're sequestered away in a, extraplanar space, so.
I've got a couple of ideas on how we could get Kari out, but probably best to discuss those from somewhere safe and quiet.
Yeah.
Right. Well, should we get some actual brunch, or should we just go ahead and...
Oh, for God's sakes, please, I'm dying.
I really don't want to eat anything else here. That shot was so nasty, I swear to God.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the cream was at least 3 days old. So.
Oh, that explains my stomach churning right now.
If it
Yep.
even was cream.
Get some brunch out of the imps. Hey, do you mind if I stop by like a magical item store really quickly? There's a, you know, the gift that was left for me in my bedroom. I sort of want to know what it is to make sure I'm not carrying around something really suspect.
Oh,
That
gift
sounds
left
like
in
a
your
smart idea.
bedroom.
Right. Yep.
You got a secret admirer there, or?
Off sorts. Yes, I do. I just want to make sure it's not going to blow up or anything. It's what Jamie. What was this thing that
It's a small carved onyx stone, in a circular, like an oval shape, with a smaller kind of indent carved into it that has wispy smoke that kind of seems contained there, with a smaller kind of central thicker bit of light inside, kind of traipsing around within the fog.
That sounds really trustworthy as an item. I'm just saying.
Don't
Just use it.
need to check.
If you don't mind me just swinging by somewhere on the way while we collect parents and all that, I'll perhaps meet you back at. Well, are we happy using Larian's shop as the base of operations, the entry point?
Trust the guy.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah,
have
I think it's
checked out of the.
fantastic place to do so.
Great. Well, I'll meet you back there, and we'll remake my house.
Right.
Build back
Cass,
better.
do you need any help with your parents moving their stuff, or?
Might need a little bit of a hand. Mom will probably try and force some hot chocolate and cookies on all of you, but depends if you want to be there for that or if you'd rather avoid it.
I mean, yeah, I'll go.
You might want to bring Aku too. I think she'd like to try and feed him up this time.
Yeah, sure. Hayden will kind of take a dusty old hat out of his bag and kind of like dust it off in his hand, and then pull it on over his head. And as he pulls it on, his like face kind of changes and his hair changes, and he's wearing a hat of disguise.
Ooh.
Marvelous. Simply marvelous.
Pascal's disguise continues. Aku has a disguise put on by Hayden, correct? That's okay at best, I think. Yeah.
This was-
Okay.
I rolled well. It was good disguise.
It's alright.
Good disguise.
Won't hold up to close inspection, but
Who's coming to Casa de Cas?
Okay.
Zug, you
yeah,
want to
then.
come for some cookies?
As if he would say no.
Yeah, some hot chocolate or cookie. I'm assuming Boris Johnson is either going with Barnes or is he coming for chocky and cookies as well?
Boris Johnson is staying.
He remains.
Actually, wait.
Remains.
Barnes is going to a magical item shop.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, Zach will go with. Sorry, change your mind. Change
to a
your mind.
magical item shop. Okay.
No
Yeah, why
cookie
not?
for you, Zug. We're not even going
No
to save
cookie
you
for
one.
me. Sad.
We'll bring you a to-go hot chocolate.
It's not good when it's.
That's sacrilegious, actually. So, we'll have Barnes go with Zug first. I assume let's just put AFK, so wherever she would like to go. However,
I'm going with Hayden.
Hayden, cool. So, Barnes and Zug. It's relatively easy. There are not necessarily like deeply magical items, but finding scrolls or something to identify relatively simple. Zug, is there something you're after that would require me to roleplay this, or do you would like me to give a price?
I don't think so, actually. I just
Boys just hitting the town and
I
hanging out.
just wanted, if there was an object that looked great, I would look at it. I don't even know how much money Zug has at the moment, actually, because we got absolutely rinsed, didn't we?
Well, no, we got loads of money from Roman that we've just not split out. We got like
Yeah, but who
60,000
has
gold that we
that?
just. I think Hayden just has it in the bag of holding.
That's what I mean. It's not with
Hayden's
him.
just like the
Zug has
richest
like
man alive.
117
If
gold.
I-
It's
if
not
I'd
gonna go,
known you
like,
were-
super far.
If I known you
I
were
mean,
about to
we
go
could
shopping,
retcon it and ask for money to go shopping.
yeah, if we discussed that you were about to go shopping, Hayden would have
I
given
think
you
I
your
do
cut of
have
gold.
space for one more attuned item because I gave away the. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I did have something in mind, which is why I jumped to it. He's gonna check on his ring.
Oh.
Yes, to see if it can be fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Find a stall. There are many on the promenade. That's where you end up. It's also on the way to Roman's way of finding.
Kind of discreet because this was an item left for him by Asmodeus, Lord of the Nine Hells.
But sorry, are you looking for someone to identify it for you,
Yes,
or are you looking for
yes.
some?
And if they look
Ah.
suspicious and scared, I will be modifying their memory very quickly.
Right.
God.
Yeah, you find a slightly rundown, off to the side, magic store, and by a slightly nervous, um, looking gnome, who introduces himself as Fidelius. He's like, this store seemingly has lots of scrolls, lots of parchments, inks. You imagine this is more of kind of someone who writes. There are some pre-made scrolls wrapped up that are kind of kept in little sealed boxes, which you imagine might have some magic attractions to keep them safe, as they are just out on displays, whereas often they wouldn't be. However, there is also kind of services to the side, which is remove curse, identify up on a board, and your approach to the identify service will cost you 50 gold. Or at least that's what's there. And as you kind of approach the stall, he kind of hears up from behind the book. Yes, it's what can I do for you? Welcome.
Mr. Fidelius, it's a real pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Barnes Costello, and this here is my compatriot Zug. We're after 2 services from you today, is that right? Zug, it's your ring, and
yes.
I have a
right.
curiosity I'd like you to help me with.
Do you fix magic rings?
Fixing a magical item is a little akin to remaking it. What? I can look, but if something broke it, I probably
Well, I
can't
don't
really
know
afford.
if it's necessarily. Anyway, he pulls out the little thing and he unwraps it, and obviously this like
Yeah,
thing, this thing is now stained with like pus.
Yeah, the ring of
Probably
mind shield.
smells fucking vile,
Yeah.
and he goes to open it. He's got the spring. and stuff.
Mate,
Yeah,
as you
it's
see,
been doing that since the morning, and I don't know why.
So for those of you who remember, the ring of mind shielding has had a crack down the middle of the brain in the center and is like pouring out stuff. What on earth did you do with that?
I woke up and it was like this. I had a strange dream. I don't know if that's relevant.
I don't know. So it just was on your finger and then it did this.
Don't think
Yeah.
too hard about it.
I think that's my job to think too hard about it. Actually,
I
You
don't
want
mind
me
how
to fix
hard you
it?
think about it. I would like to know if I can fix it, or if you know where I could take it to get fixed.
He kind of waves his hand over it, eyes crackle blue, stares, and just kind of casts the identify spell. And well, it's the underlying enchantment is still there. There's just how to describe this to you? Imagine it's a river, and a ancient dragon has taken a shit in the river, and all of the water is pulling up behind the shit, and it can't get through, and the other side has dried up. That is what has happened to your ring.
Zach kind of just stares a little bit, like, someone took a shit in my ring.
Quite a specific analogy, actually.
So something is piling. How would I remove the shit from the ring, good sir?
Well,
You
I
flush it.
A vote of no confidence.
I honestly don't know. I haven't seen something like this other than maybe someone who specializes in curses, perhaps.
It's
But
cursed?
I'm possibly. Or I mean, if you tried washing it, cleaning that out, that's gross.
I mean, I ran it under some water. It just seems to be producing it.
Oh, well, shone a light in it and had a look.
No, I don't. I don't work with rings or small things. I don't know how this works.
Well, I can try it. You can see there's kind of points to the board like remove curse is 100 gold.
Fine. I'd give it a go.
Okay, hands it over, and as he kind of does, there's a remove curse. He kind of like picks it up, and you see the energy kind of crackle, and there's like a little, it kind of the top of it kind of cleans ever so slightly, and he looks at it, it's like almost looking a bit pleased with himself, and then there's a splat of kind of glass goes straight into his face.
Oh,
That didn't work.
well, I mean, you tried. He puts 100 gold coin little set on the thing. I'm sorry for this.
Scurries it away, looking around.
Is the implication that a stronger variant of the same spell would entirely flush it out, or what? What was lacking there?
An understanding of what the hell is wrong. I don't know if it's a curse or an exceedingly strong one.
I see.
Right. Okay, and then the other thing that we wanted was, what exactly is this? And he'll take the stone with sus swirly bits and pieces and light out of his bag.
At least this doesn't smell so bad.
No. I hope nobody's taken a shit in it.
Rather
That would be
unlikely.
quite something, actually.
Impressive, almost. Yes, and you see him kind of look over, and you see him kind of cast it out. He kind of reels back ever so slightly.
I'm going to need verbatim exactly what you think this is.
No, I think you're going to need to tell me where you got it from first.
Can I insight check this guy?
Yes.
13.
13. He's very suspicious all of a sudden. His eyes have narrowed, and he's kind of gone behind his stall, and you can see him beginning to kind of reach for something.
I killed an evil cultist, and this was on his body. I want to make sure that this is something usable and not dangerous.
Make a deception check.
Okay. It's me. I'm the evil cultist.
Surprise.
That's 11 plus 15, 26.
And arguably, you are something of a body.
26. Kind of puts on and go, well, I don't think this is something you should be carrying around on your person.
What does it do?
My friend.
But it's-
He leans over and, like, you know, he's got his embellished armor, huge axe on his back, and then he goes, "We've carried worse in the past. This isn't.
Surely.
We are special."
It can't
We
be
are-
that bad, can it?
But,
Alex does a like
you could say-
tee.
You could say we are specialists in procuring and removing dangerous items.
That's good.
We
because
just
it's,
want to know what it
This
is.
isn't dangerous. It's just not more. It's just rather unsavory. This is a well, it used to belong to somebody named Jessica Hargreaves. A rather important part of her, actually. Some would say the most important part of you. That has somehow been fashioned into a drink. This is her soul.
Zuck's
This is a
eyebrows just
soul.
raise.
Yes.
That's a soul.
What would drinking the soul do? Asking for a friend.
How have we somehow managed to end up with 2 souls in the last, like, 4 days?
Right,
He
we've
leans over.
bequeathed far too many
Um,
souls as a
But
friend.
I don't know why you'd want to ask that question.
Well, I just want to know, like curiosity.
I want to know what the hell they were doing, you know, with a soul that they were clearly planning on drinking before we stopped them.
Who knows what evil this cultist was about to concoct?
I'm still cleaning his blood off my boots.
There might be more of them. What if they're after more people's souls?
Do
and
I
going
need to
do
make-
terrible rituals with them?
Do I need to make a deception as well?
Yeah, you all can make perception checks.
Hey, it's a 19 plus 120.
8 plus 15,
Non nat 20.
23.
Okay. If you kind of both look at you. Well, I imagine this would. It would provide some rejuvenation, some minor healing. I don't think it would. You're not consuming the entire soul. You're merely feeding on it until it is weak enough that your body naturally releases it. It's rather cruel.
It's just sort of like a healing potion, but some woman's soul.
That's pretty horrible.
I understand that the brief experience is that this is considered a delicacy in certain places, unsavory places.
So
hells.
somebody essentially bought this cultist a drink.
A person drink.
Somebody has indeed either made or fashioned into a drink for this cultist, or is given it to them, or it's in your possession. I'd clearly find out soon. Don't you think?
What created this abomination? Correct. Thank you so much. That really clears things up. Great.
Well, we will be taking this to
Are
the appropriate parties immediately
Hmm.
for
Are you
its immediate disassembly.
Are you going to modify its memory?
How stressed does this guy seem?
Your lies have been pretty good, but he's like, but I hope so. I hope you do deserve it. It's very worrying to be carrying around this and irresponsible. This woman is clearly she's suffering. I'd release her immediately.
Listen, he's gonna lean over the desk.
Anything you cast on this guy is gonna fail.
put his hands on the guy's upper arm. And just say, "Oh, really, Mr. Fidelius, I just wouldn't worry about it. Nothing important was said here, after all. And I'll cast modify memory, and what we asked him to look at was a potion of healing. Why not? It was a potion of healing in a funny vial.
Okay, he rolls a 7. He fails. He just kind of goes serene for a moment and goes, yes, just a basic potion, really. I'm not sure why somebody put in such an ornate vial, but I'm
That's so
glad it's all
disappointing.
safe. Very responsible of you to come to
Doug.
get checked
Oh,
first.
I
though.
need your strongest potion.
So I can't believe it. He said I was special, and he's given me a basic potion of healing.
It happens.
Oh,
Yeah, I know it's horrible.
shit.
And he kind of he leans over the desk really close, and he kind of looks around for a second. You wouldn't happen to have an alchemy jug?
No, I don't. Sorry. Rather impressive items.
Yeah, I know. It's fine. Don't worry. It was just a quick question.
Well,
Do you know
thank
anyone who
you.
does sells alchemy jugs? Or
Well, I
potions or the
suppose
like?
that pompous ass Gilmore sells everything.
Pompous ass Gilmore. Got it.
Do you want
Well,
an
thank you for
alchemy
your help.
jug? Zug, is that what? We can look for a jug.
I just, if it happened to be around, maybe I'd pick one up. I'm not actively looking for one.
Insight check.
Just automatic fail. I'm not even gonna roll.
Buns just pauses.
He
and says,
really wants an alchemy jug.
Wait, were you around for the alchemy? I think it was gone before, like.
Yeah,
you-
he's kind of trying to suss it out, but he kind of pauses and is like, "Would you rather have traveling socks or an alchemy jug for your birthday?
That's a really difficult question.
Think on it.
I will. They kind of walk down.
Right, let's go find the boys."
Out of character comment, we do have an alchemy jug in the party. Aiden has
Do we?
one.
Are we
Oh,
just
yeah.
keeping it away from Zug?
That's a good idea.
Cruelty.
That's a
It's
very
come
good
up in
idea.
conversation a couple of times.
Yeah, but he's probably not got the, doesn't want to ask for it directly.
Oh, bless him. He wants to keep his mayo addiction on the down low.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's that identified and what it is. We'll talk about it later. On the way to Kaz's parents, would that group be talking about anything in particular, or are we just getting there and getting the stuff? Hayden and Kaz, I don't know if you've got anything specific to catch up on you didn't want to do in front of the group. Or not really.
You put me on the spot, Jamie.
I'm sorry.
Castle sidle up to Hayden while they're walking and just sort of. Who's with us? So who came with this group? So it's you, Aku. Is Askor with us? Did he want free hot chocolate and cookies?
He probably came with the more quieter group, I suspect. Less visible of it.
Which I think will be this group. Although Casadius is there. Probably Barnes and Zug are actually less conspicuous. So you went there. Cool. Okay, as you guys are making there, you walk in and Cass, you're pleased because your little like checks in place that nothing has been disturbed, nobody else has visited. And you walk in and you see that both your mother and father have dozed off in front of the fire.
Why don't you guys start gathering stuff from upstairs? I'll get my parents awake and tell them we're going somewhere nice that you guys found.
I'm part of this group, aren't I, right?
If you want to be.
Yeah, if you want to.
I've assumed I am. Does that make more sense? I assumed I wasn't with Zug and...
Yeah, whoever you want to hang out with. I would take it personally.
Cool, man. Yeah, well, yeah, forget you guys. So, insight check to see if they're alive.
Yeah, I was also like, are they asleep in front of the fire or are they asleep in front of the fire?
They are both snoring incredibly loudly.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
In the way dwarves do. Yeah.
An enchantment.
Okay.
They are actually the cutest. I can't.
I love them so much.
Nothing can happen.
DM's setting you up for the fall. That's what
Hey, look, let Casadius'
I'm gonna kill that dog.
tiny parents survive, please.
Oh my God.
That's the whole point of the character
Can't
at
kill
this
my
point.
dad. Come on. Let's go.
Yeah, so as you walk in, they both seem to kind of stir a little bit, but neither wake up.
All right. Someone take over control of the kitchen and start packing that stuff away. My mom will never forgive me if I let any of her pre-prepared stuff go to waste. There's some cookies in there. Go nuts.
I will go pack up the kitchen then.
Hayden had free cookies.
Hayden quickly shuffles into the kitchen and he kind of throws like a wistful look over his shoulder at Kaz's parents, and he kind of like lingers in the doorway for a moment, and then he kind of like turns back and goes into the kitchen.
You know, I'm going to fix myself a drink. This is strangely the calmest day we've had in quite a while. Normally there's some kind of argument or fight, some kind of adversary. Maybe today we're blessed. He go and fix himself a little drink.
Cass knocks
the rest of the day.
Cass knocks on wood, just reaches over and just taps the floorboard.
Oh, sorry, before you do, so as you're walking in this place, it is a rather nice place that they have got here. It is, it's surprisingly nice, and you know, it has got a lot of money, but as you're looking through, there are pictures or emblems that are of none of the people that you know to be associated with Kaz and Hayden, and the rest of you probably realize this might not actually be their house, but at least where they're staying.
Just burgling someone else's house.
Hey, you find Roman's family's cutlery in the kitchen, so you know we do have a habit.
Something's familiar.
Sorry, go on.
Hayden starts kind of packing up the cutlery in the kitchen and kind of inspects one of them. He's like, kind of puts it away. Was it just Askor who came into the kitchen to get a drink, or did anyone else come in the kitchen as well?
Askor and Aku, I imagine, or Aku, what are you up to?
Cat.
Does Aku want to meet the parents? Is the question.
I guess if everyone kind of like went to go to the kitchen, he probably just like awkwardly like walked out without saying anything and just followed over.
Hayden will kind of, as he's like, he's taking a bite of a cookie and he kind of put it aside, and he's like helping pack up Cass's parents' stuff, and he kind of looks across the kitchen island to Asgore, and he says, so you've made it pretty clear how you feel about your dad and how you feel about what might happen to your dad. But you've never really spoken much about the rest of your family. We met your sister, I guess, but do you have a mom or anyone else? Like, should we keep an eye out for them, or?
Now, these are good questions, to which there are answers. Yes, if I remember rightly, yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking back to, obviously I lost a lot of my files recently,
Oh no.
so I don't have the full backstory of Asgore, but if I remember correctly, yeah.
Well, you can
In
make
that
it up
case,
now.
Asgore responds simply, well, yes, my sister, my mother. I have no reason to suspect that they're
The sister is Eloise, as a
Behold.
reminder, and Duchess Ludmilla.
And I came up with the whole Eloise name before Bridgerton, so like, don't get any ideas, guys.
Eloise Sunraw, and Duchess Ludmilla Romanoff, I believe is the name.
Makes sense. It all makes sense. Well, look, trying to think too much about it. It's just going to cloud my judgment. I need this to be as simple as I can. But ultimately, if they're in the way, no harm should come to them.
Okay.
It's my mother.
Yeah. I mean, not everyone has a great relationship with their mothers, so... And, you know, considering how you are with your dad, and how your dad kind of tried to kill you and stuff, like... I don't know, just... wanted to double check that...
No, I get it, I get it. If I'm totally honest with you, Hayden, I've not mentioned it because I don't want to believe it's possible, but maybe my mother and my sister are in on this too, or under whatever spell that may be. So I've got silent there.
Do you think your dad's under a spell?
Well, look, my brother is certainly under something. My father, my suspicions lie that maybe he does know, or he is under the influence, or he's something else. My brother, I'm certain of it.
Right. Okay, so when we get there, try to reduce collateral damage. That's, you know, further down the road, so...
Yes, of course, and minimize distress.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm really going to... I haven't really thought about how I'm going to make all these plans work with my mother and my sister. It all seems so impossible.
Asgore, I know, sometimes as a group we can get a bit carried away when we start coming up with ideas, but if you're not on board with what we've discussed about your father, you can change your mind. We don't have to do it. Just...
Of course, but how could he not know? How could he not know it's me? It's too expedient. This mimic creature.
Yeah.
This shape changer. Of course he knows. How would a man not recognize his own son? He says with a sort of element of bitterness and...
well, maybe that's something that we should try to find out before we go to extreme measures. Like, we could use a truth spell on him, or try to interrogate him somehow, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of other ways that we can make your father otherwise indisposed, so you can put yourself in position for the election without it being something completely irreversible, you know?
Ascol is kind of stressed out about the idea as if you're kind of adding more detail to what he was intentionally a very simple sort of construction in his mind for him. Well, yes, of course it's possible, Hayden. I've thought about it, but how am I going to, even with my talents, my powers, how am I going to achieve that? Everywhere he is, there's some kind of anti-magic field or some kind of spell, or it just seems impossible. What are we going to do? Lure him out? He wouldn't go anywhere without an extensive security detail.
Well, there's ways without magic to get information out of people. They're not pleasant, but doable.
Neither's my father, so talking to him is...
I'm not talking about talking.
What do you mean, Hayden?
I think you're well aware, Asgore. But I'm just saying, let's make sure we're fully thought through on that plan before we get to it. But anyway, it looks like we've got more urgent plans. So
For
there's
now we
time.
do, but you're right. We will be finding out more about how deep this goes. And I mean that in two senses. Within my family and under the city. I
Yeah.
suspect those two answers are deeply connected.
Yeah, it's a good point. I guess Kari was on stage with your family, so she might have some information in her office or wherever she's based. We might find some more.
Did I miss there was a... Sorry, I must have potentially missed that. Was there like a kind of plan to go into Kari's office? It's like clandestine?
No, I'm winging it. I'm winging it, dude.
Wait, you want to break in there? I mean, it's a beautiful idea, Hayden, but you know, you are valuable. You have uses. You don't need to risk your life that willy-nilly.
Well, I just assumed if we were gonna go, finish her off, we'd maybe find her in her office or something. I don't know. Or once she's dead, we can go in there and there's nobody there. Whatever, Just, maybe she's got information on her body, on her person, in her bag. We'll figure it out.
Hayden, I wouldn't normally expect such optimism from you. Of all people who were to know about the class, they run so deep in government and commerce. It's no easy feat to simply lure somebody out, and it's a multi-level network as well.
I know enough about her that we can probably find a way to lure her out.
Well, come on. In that case, what have you got? Any ideas? And Asco fixed himself in his seat for a moment, sort of willing to listen to any suggestions.
Well, and he kind of glances over to Aku, who's been standing pretty quiet in the corner until now. And he looks back to Asgore. Speaking to Cass today and realizing that Kari's still kind of asking about us, well, she found out that maybe I'm still alive. That would draw her out from where she is. Debate.
Cass
Asco.
Cass will appear at the door, leaning in the door frame, and just... Whilst I do think we should probably have this conversation somewhere we can't be spied on at all, we have a similar train of thought here in how to get certain things organized, but I would say they know where this place is, so they might be...
Wait a second. You said that Kari was here earlier today.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna assume that you don't have any extra safety measures here in this house.
Jamie, Cass's
Yes.
previous house had a lot of wards on it. Would he have thought to? I mean,
You would have had the time to prepare it. This is probably an unscribable location. You presume that you were found and
Yeah.
that you were followed at some point home. But you don't know. You imagine Kari is like staring at you, and you searched the place thoroughly after she left. You didn't leave anything.
Can you imagine Kari just sitting there being like, watching us, like having a chat about it?
I found you.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No, well, Aku, whenever I get to a new place, I make sure it's pretty secure. I don't want anyone checking in on me or my parents.
Well, that's good to hear, I guess.
What can I say? I'm a cautious man.
So you've woken up I remember you going to open your parents and you kind of nod your mum's shoulder. She kind of starts to go, oh, you're back. Sorry, I must have dozed off. And she looks into the kitchen. Oh, there's company. She goes to get up. Like
It's people you know, Mom. It's people you know. It's fine.
Oh, yes, of course, from Persona. Hello, hi. It's not. But I don't think I know that's a tall one. Looks up at Ascor.
You put on a little weight. It's fine.
Is the person upon which my character is based particularly tall in real life?
She's a dwarf. Everyone's told.
Yeah, true.
I see. Ascor's just gonna smile, sort of receivingly.
It's nice to meet you. If you're a friend of Cass, you're a friend of mine. Sorry, I didn't know we were having company again for the second time in a day. There must be something left over. Or food. You all look famished. Is there anything I can get for you, Kaz? What's going on?
My friends here, we ran into each other down the tavern, and they've recommended a nice place that we can, that you and Pa can stay at for a few days while we sort out some travel-related business.
Of course. Should I? When are we going? Should I pack?
Oh, we were gonna do the packing for you, Ma, if you want to carry on having a nap or whatever.
I'll let you do everything for me.
He sinks into his shoulders in the slightly long-suffering, loving son vibe of I don't do enough.
I'll go see to it, and Danny here can be a little. Yes, we're about to make him a little particular about things, so I'll make sure his is all good. But when will we be going? I see you smiling.
Tonight, actually, we're gonna. Well, now, as soon as possible, really.
Urgent. She kind of furrows her brow and looks a bit worried. And okay, I'll be right down. Please help yourself to anything. Kat said works with the people who own this place. They've been very generous while we've been here.
Great. Yep.
You see her kind of bundle upstairs, and you can hear the kitchen drawer open and things slam, and as you guys presumably are left in the kitchen with a pail of still slightly, probably not warm now, but cookies and various kind of pies that are left over in the fridge. They kind of open it up. Some treats that are probably a bit dwarven and a little hard for your tastes. But
wasn't his mum into spicy food as well?
Very spicy food, yes. Very spicy soups.
Are the cookies spicy?
No.
There's some cinnamon ones if you're feeling a bit more daring.
The cinnamon challenge one.
You bite in the middle, it's just cinnamon. A stick of it.
Cool. So, presumably, if you guys are kind of having that conversation whilst also having this, after about 5 minutes, bundling downstairs with two large trunks, which are about the size of her, kind of tripping over a little bit, Dana returns and kind of plops them down and looks up and says, "I think we're ready for the adventure."
All right, well, you get Dad into his cape, cloak, and everything.
You kind of see as she kind of picks up ever so slightly to the clothes, and you can see her getting Bertram to stand and puts on the shoes one by one, and drapes the cloak over before kind of changing, putting some longer trousers on, and you can see he kind of once it's done, he kind of grasps her hand, and she kind of leads him a little bit, presuming that you guys are going to pick up the trunks on the way. And the giving a slightly dazed look at you, Bertram kind of just waves as he kind of goes past. as you all leave, is there anything else or anything you'd like to double check, Kaz, or do, or anyone else, or talk about before you leave?
How many trunks are there?
2.
That's it. That's all their stuff.
This
All
is
the
a
stuff they
very
take on a
abrupt
holiday.
move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it's a
they're
very
going on a
abrupt-
holiday.
Yeah. Oh, we're leaving a few things in here, so we're not completely clearing up.
I imagine so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Or I imagine
Uh,
that's the impression she's gotten. Whether or not you'll come back later to take out everything is up to you.
Considering I'm assuming that Ascor has not made any move to pick up the suitcases, Aku is gonna pick them both up.
Oh, strong.
What
No,
Very strong.
I don't believe I have necessarily a constitution to lift something.
She kind of puts out her hand on. She tries to reach for your arm, but probably ends up just kind of patting your knee. Very nice, strong young man, strapping, and kind of stands out. And slowly but surely,
in his persona goes, "Forgive me, forgive me."
oh no, almost as old as I am, perhaps. Yeah, they should be helping you. And one by one, obviously help down the street in your disguises.
Cass will bring
It's
a kitchen bag with a few pies and things.
Hayden's carrying the box with the cutlery, and he's got the cookies kind of piled on top, and he's like looking at them as we walk.
Occasionally, you look down at the cutlery and see Roman's flashing in the sun. And slowly but surely, using Hayden's feet, Cass's ability to run the streets, I would like for all of you to make stealth checks.
Oh no! Oh, that's worrying.
Oh no, no.
Stealth checks, you say?
There's another 25 on stealth. That's my lucky number.
Why is that a red one though?
Well, you have reliable talent, so.
Yep.
Thank God for that.
Advantage.
Well, I can't roll anything lower than a 10, basically.
22.
Aku as well.
Doing alright.
Because you're in disguises, actually, you will. Those in disguises will have advantage.
Oh, nice.
So Aku and Ascor and Hayden, I believe.
Okay, still 22.
19.
19. All right,
Very nice.
pretty good. Given the fact that you have 2 small dwarfs and trunks carrying you and all this kind of stuff, you move swiftly, silently, and to all of your knowledge, it's at least unnoticed through the city streets on your way to Florian's house. Zog, you managed to find those items. I think it's just one of them, right? You're after.
Depends how expensive they are.
Are they multiple use?
I don't know. I think they're single use if they break.
They can't be used again until the next door. No, you're finding one.
Oh,
Very what do you do with it? Oh, I hit the target. It's just Jesus. Okay.
it's just like a imagine like Django Fett. That's all.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
Django
They
Dragons,
are-
Dragons and Dungeons.
I'm a Boba
So
Fett.
Zog, they are 13,000 gold pieces.
Oh, okay, then I probably can't afford it. That's fine.
Okay.
I looked it up and I was like, this is a cool item. And I was like, how much is it?
That's what Google is telling me because D&D economy is hard.
How much
Yeah.
money did we get from
It's not worth it.
From Roman?
I think you got 60,000.
Oh wait,
60?
maybe it is.
Yeah.
60k.
Was that each, or was that?
No, that was you got a certain amount each and a certain amount total. But if you haven't written it down, we can go watch the VODs.
I'm trying to have it somewhere. Let me have a look.
The item
If you
that I
haven't
was-
written it down, then you can just make an estimate of how much you got.
The i-
6,000
gold each.
Yeah, the item that I was looking for is called the Iron Bands of Binding, and it's like a ball that you throw at someone, and it like restrains them.
I think it's because
Like a
all you-
Pokeball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's literally
yeah.
a
That's
Pokeball.
Passy's
it's a
Pokeball, isn't
Pokeball.
it?
Did Percy have one?
I'm sure
Possibly.
Passy had it.
It's-
yeah.
It's because all you need to do is hit on a target, and then it's automatically restrained, and
Yeah,
then
it
it needs
can
to
break
be
though.
yeah, which is a DC 20 strength check.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
pretty tough.
Yeah, so you catch most things. It's good
Okay.
for catching people.
We'll say you all make your way back to Lorian's house after that. Lorian's house is for your benefit. Casadius is slightly off Abdal's Promenade. It's kind of down a back alley. However, it's weird that suddenly a tree kind of sprouts out, and then it's this essentially tree house carved into this trunk in the middle of the street that kind of nudges back into an actual building, and there are kind of layers that seem to go up and down this large tree trunk. The outside is full of trinkets and chimes and flowers. It's a very sporadic, eclectic mix of products, of potions and balms, and a man who's, as you've seen so much of the world, a lot of these are kind of snake oil when you walk in, and a lot of it is like herbal remedies of the Feywild, and obviously they're not from the Feywild. You know they're from Rosono or from somewhere that's far enough away that people won't know, or various kind of wooden herb remedies or magic or things labeled as magic that you know absolutely are not magic. And out walks Lorian, who I think settled on Brad Pitt when Lauren was playing him. Kind of long. He does have long blonde hair, right?
Ish, sort of like messy blonde tousled hair.
Messy blonde tousled
Lovely,
hair.
pretty.
Wearing a band across his eyes. Little goatee. Very well dressed and quite obviously an elf, but a very much of the Fae. Slightly glistening. Slightly difficult to look at. And kind of greets you and all of you with a big
Kinda hot.
smile. Always hot, everyone. Don't ask the question.
Of course he is.
Are we here? Did we make it back?
Yes, you all made it back. And someone goes, "Oh my god, where's my southern accent?"
Well, hell.
Well, hell. Welcome
Bonjour.
back. Bonjour. Now, welcome home. I see you've picked up another stray. A couple of them actually. I didn't see you both back there. My
Hey.
name's Lorian. Charmed to make your acquaintance.
Casadius, don't think we met.
No, I haven't heard of you either. But I presume you're with the nice boys.
You haven't heard of me, Hayden.
Sorry. Cass, Lorian, Cass. Cass is an old friend of ours from Wildmount. Yeah.
Well,
And these
I
are
know
your
you well enough to
parents.
know when. He says, I know you well enough when you don't want to share, Hayden. It's lovely to meet you both. Kind of bows down very low to your parents, who kind of Dennis kind of says, "Oh, it's lovely to meet you too," and Bertram kind of nods next to her enthusiastically, and kind of goes, "A pleasure. So why do I owe this? You're back again. You're looking for shelter. You've pissed off somebody else."
Well, we're heading back home, Lorian. But actually, what are you doing for dinner? We could have a feast.
Oh, I don't have plans.
Well, come and visit then. It's the extraterrestrial door in your store cupboard.
I did wonder what another one of those was doing.
Just walk on in. It'll be fine. We'll have, I don't know, how about a roast dinner? What do we like?
Oh, roast boar.
Kind of bend down to Cass's parents, maybe, respectfully. Not that I'm much taller than you, dwarf, kind of. I'm saying, what about the two of you? What's your favourite food? Actually, what sort of quarters are you expecting?
Oh, I'm not sure. Just, Cass said it'd be like a nice hotel. I think he's someone to go on holiday.
Oh, well, he's severely undersold where you'll be sleeping. And I suppose he'll kind of maybe make his way to the kind of back storeroom, and he'll think about something that's not just nice for two dwarves, it's super duper nice. I guess, like, he won't have known them for very long, but you can see that they're a charming pair of parents. I guess maybe he'll get a sense of their vibe looking at their clothes. And I guess he'll formulate in this magnificent mansion something really cozy, really homely. I don't know if he picked up on Cass's parents offering cookies and stuff, but he'll make sure that they have maybe, or she has access to like a kitchen, maybe lots of ingredients. Maybe I'll give them a view of the sea through an illusory window, and a kind of breeze on their balcony that makes them feel as though they are indeed somewhere tropical and pleasant.
Oh.
Oh, as kind of walking through, and she said, "Oh well, if it's not too much trouble, my favorite food is there's a fish that you can only catch underground catfish, hence the name. That soup, a little bit of spice in it, is perfect."
Underground catfish soup. Okay, I'm not familiar with it, but if the help get it wrong, then you'll just have to tell them and they'll do better next time.
I'm sure it'd be lovely no matter what they do, but I'll ask for it if that's okay.
Cass leans into Barnes and just. She says a little bit of spice. Just put the whole thing in there.
Like, well, to be honest, Cass, they're imps, so a little bit of spice for an imp is like mind-boggling amounts for a person. So I think she'll be in good company, actually, surprisingly.
My mom's gonna take 1 times fire damage, ain't she?
So, as you walk in, could Barnes again give a brief description of what exactly you walk into?
Right, he's
for
toned
Cass's
it down.
benefit?
He's toned down the Asmodeus vibes. He's made it less scary and less palazzo, maybe, for the guests. It's still pretty magnificent, and again, much like him, out of time. The lights are in glass bulbs, and there are just kind of lit panels on the ground, this kind of shiny, sleek, black kind of interior. Marble that just can't be carved and polished in this way with current stonecraft. Kind of gold filigree on things, paintings, a few of maybe people that Barnes himself doesn't recognize, but his subconscious kind of seems to spit out. And through the archway to the right, there's kind of a recreation that the party remember to be Barnes's own house, a kind of recreated version from the ruins they visited. And this seems to be more of the feature of the house this time. It's less about devils and scary shit, and more actually just like a super modern, sleek, minimalist kind of design that we, the players, would kind of think would, be pretty up there in the design magazines. But for you guys, it's probably quite foreign and almost a bit alien. Nice, but just not an aesthetic you get. And indeed, the imps are all lined up in tuxedos, differing ribbons, and I think this time he might have gone a little overboard on the ribbons in an attempt to kind of de-scare the devils. He's kind of put funny little things in their livery, like these are bows that are like polka dot maybe, some striped ones, kind of really big ones underneath their chins, and they're all standing to attention waiting for people to walk through, and they'll dutifully take the suitcases.
Absolutely, yeah, they kind of run up like they're ever so slightly smaller than Kaz's parents, and kind of grab the trunk and say, "I'll take this for you, yes, yes." And the new rooms, yes, new rooms. So they and
we'll be having guests for the immediate future, or foreseeable future, actually. So please make them feel welcome, show them around. Nothing scary, nothing weird. Well, make yourselves at home. As he kind of turns to Cass and his parents.
Look around. Oh, this place is wonderful. It's so kind of reminds me of the stone shaped so differently. It's beautiful.
Oh, well, it's all right. It's not bad. I'm not an interior designer, but I knew my fair share of them, so I've sort of got the plans in the back of my head.
Kind of see her like nudge Bertram, like, we're going to be staying here for a few days. Do you like it? And you see him kind of like look up and kind of look very under and more and kind of nod wordlessly. And you kind of like look up and goes, "Well, I think they want to show us to our rooms, but we back down when we've dropped our bags off." They kind of scurry away, along with the imps following them. I know we have to finish in about 13 minutes. So if you guys, I presume Kaz's parents are going to go off. Kaz, you probably go check on them, make sure they're all okay, and then come back down for the planning.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll just say that kind of goes up. You see that they're in the rooms that Barnes has described. You can see as you walk in, there's like a kitchen off to the side, and you see a small imp with the entire pot of chili flakes and pepper, kind of pouring it into a soup to be getting made.
You'll catch the imp's eye and just slightly concerned, but like
yeah. And you'll see your parents kind of scurrying around, looking and being very excited to explore and look around. And
he'll excuse himself to go do business, is how he puts it to his
yes.
parents.
That's good. Well, I hope the production funding's all going well. If you can afford this, then it must be.
Oh yeah, it's going great, Marge.
I'm sure you can solve any problem.
he'll stoop down and give her a little hug.
Oh,
Oh.
she'll hug you back and kind of squeeze you a little bit tight. And
Go chill on the balcony. Look, Ma, balcony.
Oh.
If you do like your drink, the orphanage is just down that way. It's a little grimly named, but it's just a jazz bar. Oh.
I was wondering about that.
Oh dear lord.
It's just
Right, of course.
Why?
I thought it was a real orphanage.
So did I.
No,
You need to work on your branding.
it's not my branding.
Because didn't Colcor say something about an orphanage when he first appeared?
He was joking. Look, devils have a terrible sense of humor. Jokes about
Oh.
massacre and murder, it's all just standard fare, but they don't really mean it, I think.
I
Okay.
think they might mean it.
Okay.
He seemed like Colcor seemed fine. He seemed good. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we could all say we love a bit of jazz music, a little boogie woogie. It's
We
you know,
do.
very much.
Do you
they call
still
it
need to?
devil's music,
Do
don't
you
they,
still
now?
need to be in disguise, or are you just keeping this up? Or...
Have you considered doing voice work, Ascor? You're quite good.
Are your parents still in the room with this?
No, you've all now downstairs in the.
Yeah, Cass will
dining
have
room.
closed the door, and I'd just like to know everyone who saw him close the door to start heading down. He just deflates a little bit when his parents aren't there to see him. Like he's just tired.
Oh.
Ascor takes from himself the hat and is just like, it's thrilling. This character is ridiculous. He seems so completely harmless. It's as if nobody could think he's a threat.
Inspiration for your campaign, perhaps. He's
Don't
gonna
do that.
maybe
Nobody would vote for this guy.
certainly not. He's gonna maybe like squeeze Cass on the shoulder, noting the deflation, what with high wisdom therapist, and be like, "Are you a drink kind of man? Can I get you a whiskey or something? Maybe we should retire to the orphanage and talk mafia plans."
Oh, yeah, do you have any fire whiskey? You know, the spicy kind.
If you can dream it, I have it. Sure.
Cool, let's do that.
I guess I'll lead them through the glittering hallways down to the orphanage, through the kind of silk curtains, into this ambiently jazzed room filled with cigar smoke from a source that you cannot determine, that's maybe kind of pre-populated with ambient noise, as if you go onto YouTube and search like jazz bar ambience and hit play. There's like chinking of glasses and chatter from a source that you can't quite determine, but it
It's-
feels very, moody.
You know the scene from Gremlins where there's that one gremlin that's in the bar listening to smooth jazz, and you can just hear it, and he's just there like boo-ba-doo. Is there an imp doing that?
Yeah. There's like a few placement imps to kind of give a bit of
a bit of ambience.
bit of ambiance. Yeah.
Amazing.
And there's like an
Um,
imp band like playing away at the same time.
No, there's no imp band. The music seems to be coming from somewhere sourceless or formless, though the perceptive among you might notice a contraption, a big kind of golden horn-like thing over a sort of spinning disc that seems to have some kind of needle on a spindle that seems to be
Oh,
scratching. it.
futuristic.
Mm,
I
yeah.
love modern
Big
technology.
circular things. Occasionally an imp changes the disc-like thing. You don't quite get what's going on, but it seems to be making music.
Wow.
Remarkable.
Um,
Truly is the stuff of dreams, this place.
The Age of Arcanum probably just was the time of dreams, to be honest.
Oh.
Dreams aren't always nice ones.
So, obviously, you are all settling down. It's a lovely venue. It's much less disturbing than all the images of Asmodeus and devils and barns leading armies of devils against demons that were here before. However, you are settling down to the slightly distasteful plan of murder, as it were, or at least revenge.
It's
and-
tasteful when it's warranted.
Exactly. And kind of sitting around, and certainly as we can kick off next session, you will start the planning of how are you going, and what you're thinking about as characters, how are you going to find where Kari is, lock her down in a way that means she's not going to escape, make sure you get the other people you feel you need to, and also, most importantly for everybody sitting around this table with family in the city or people they care about, how they're going to make sure there are no repercussions. And how great it's going to feel to get revenge for the deaths of Aku and Hayden. Cool.
They
And
got
with that,
better.
they did get better. They still died. And with that, we will say, well, thank you everybody for playing. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for Hannah for guesting. And we will see where we are next week, because I know that I will be hosting in theory, and Club will not be here, but we will update you as soon as possible. But thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the session. Hope you enjoyed watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you everyone for
Bye.
joining. Please
Bye.
make sure to check out our Discord, where you will receive updates on our next stream, as Jamie's pointed out, maybe on a different date, depending on things. So
We
there's a
shall
link
see.
in the chat. Please check it out, and we'll hope to see you next time. Bye!
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.